You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Let's go stateside for the mighty chapter, Shortcut Society.
When I was a little fellow, and my mother sent me to the shop for me to hurry home quickly, you know. She would tell me, take the shortcut. But when I grew up, I felt well sad. I found myself in a funny spot. Cause I noticed throughout Trinidad, all man and woman taking shortcut. To get a passport, everybody taking a shortcut. They don't want to line up, they refuse to stand up. To get a US visa, they're telling you plainly, Chucky, do you know somebody? I got plenty money. And to get a diplomatic passport, there's also a shortcut. Just hug at Mr. Pandey and kisses tender spot. And you don't need no election to rule the people. The shortcut is possible. Just lie down and sleep with the devil. We living in shortcut country. Trinidad is a shortcut society. Allah. When I was a little fellow, taking shortcut was the golden rule. We had a special shortcut to follow to take us quickly from home to school. To get a job later on was sorrow. If daddy didn't know Mr. Ned, I would be a vagrant or now, so it wasn't for shortcut, boy, I dead. Women used to toss up the hair to go out on a jeep. Now we shortcut hairdressing. They just dash on a wig. Children are learning tables again, like those of yesteryear. They have a shortcut teacher, he made calculator. And the shortest way to be a UNC senator. Forget from there and stay in Little Jack corner. And if you can't get too great to give you 2.5 million election dollars, the shortcut fellas is to burn down police headquarters. We living in shortcut country, you see. Trinidad is a shortcut society. Yeah. When I was a little fellow and I'm about to make me shortcut, my grandmother used to warn me, you know, not all shortcut, just pull up your pot. So when Robinson found them seven loser, he reminded me of my grandmother. Cause Robbie told those seven losers plainly, there's no shortcut to democracy. But still, if you want to get kicked out of NAR and UNC, the shortcut is easy. Tell the police they don't see. And if you want to throw away money like if it exists, there's a shortcut to do this. All a man sue the racist. And vagrants say the shortest way to get more charity is to beg for money in a UNC jersey. And the partner Gypsy jump on a helicopter from the savannah. He don't join the ministry. He looking for shortcuts already. We living in shortcut country, yes. Trinidad is a shortcut society. Mumbai. Realize. When I was a little fellow, my neighbor named Comparabot. He taking shortcut all where he go. Till we used to call him Shortcut Robert. Well, Shortcut Robert does remind me of Ramesh Maharaj. DAG, for Ramesh try a shortcut to cut the Robbie. I use a shortcut to handle shady. I lie. But still, if you want to get rid of Nair and UNC, the shortcut is easy. Tell the police they can see. Young men are taking our girls again for dinner exclusively. The shortcut too easy. A breast and tie from KFC. And shadow wait 10 years to be the top soccer in spot. Now Bunji darling, where you lost, you want to try shortcut. And when I see this beautiful car here, and I can't even afford one, I make a shortcut and make the sky so for competition. You see, we living in shortcut country. You see, Trinidad is a shortcut society. I like.
Yes, 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 yes. Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's in the village with the DAG Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. And we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. Oh, I still get that right. Let me repeat that. From Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Yeah, I got to get it right. 7 to 10 p.m. And of course, folks, it's no other than In the Village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And let me bring in no other than the Commissioner of the Newark, E. Marshall Nesbitt Tommy. Tommy, how are you?
Good evening to the family, especially to you, Anselm. I hope.
Yeah, let me put on my headphones there. Let me put on my headphones. Your song on that. That's all right. I put on my headphones. How are you doing, Tom?
Okay. Oh, I'm doing quite good. How are you?
Today is a fantabulous, splendiferous day. No complaints at all. Dana is going to be joining us a little late because she has some things that she have to take care of. So she'll join us a little late tonight. And Gary will join us anytime soon.
So we're having a late storm?
Well, I don't know, but maybe stormy. Creating a storm in the stormy Benskin household. I don't know. You never know. You never know.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's good, Tommy? How was the day, man?
So far, so good. I'm trying to stay busy, doing my best to keep myself out of trouble and focus so that I don't get caught up in negativity.
And in the politics.
Oh boy, politics.
Yeah. And democracy rather than the democracy.
Right.
You know? Mm.
Democracy.
Yeah, democracy, that is it. You know, it's as much as we like to say it's a democracy, but it's democracy.
Or
Because
sometimes, or most times, hypocrisy.
oh, that too. Correct is right. The hypocrisy, you know. Democracy with respect to the hypocrisy, you know. It just goes on and on and on and on. You know, and you know, the more you listen to what's going on, the more you realize that at the end of the day, boy, in Trinidad and Tobago, we are more about party politics rather than people politics.
Right.
I am convinced about that. So
Yes.
anytime you come and start to talk about anything for country, and that country have to do, and that what you're talking about is against the ruling party or against the opposition, you'll get in big trouble.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
you know. Sometimes
Unfortunately,
just ask yourself, but better is best you stay silent. But you know, Martin Luther King says your life end the day you remain silent about things that matter. You know, so
that's
many people decide to remain silent. I tell you this, as far as I am concerned, Tommy, I am not one of those who will remain silent. And I want to get to a point quick here. Let me do these superlatives here. Of course, you know, this is coming a regular thing, and you know, we just send Nadia the crown, the WZYE crown.
oh boy.
You, we go, we go send Nadia we go send she the queen crown.
Yes, indeed.
Nadia was in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth.
Followed by Joan.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, correct is right. You know, so June welcome, Nadia welcome, Takesha as well.
Yeah,
Takesha welcome. Then we had Lana following up. Lana, them like the first 20 is all women. I mean, you know,
yeah,
woman is boss. We know that. Troy Smithy inside.
yeah. Choice.
Welcome.
Vonnie Roberts.
Yeah. Vonnie Roberts. Now, let me take on Vonnie Roberts earlier. Vonnie Roberts, let me take you on early. He says, Ansem, you were off key this morning on Breaking Barrier. It has been the same song you have been singing for too long. Vonnie Roberts, let me say this, You see, that's part of the problem that the people of Trinidad and Tobago have, Many people in Trinidad and Tobago are like 24 hours, right? They change very quickly. And I'm saying this, and not to boast, but I'm saying this. You see, when you have established 20 world records, you get a sort of a discipline where you could do the same thing over and over and over until you get it right. You see, you may think that I'm singing the same song, right? But discipline, we can say production and tolerance. Discipline allows you to do the same thing over and over and over and over until you succeed. For example, I go and run daily, right? And it is something that you do over and over and over and over and over again. But you know that the end result is that there's a great possibility that you may establish a world record, because that's my goal. You know, I read the book The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. Many of you should get that book. It's The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. I think big, right? So when you are saying I'm singing something for too long, but I could guarantee you though, Vonnie Roberts, for many of you who have never heard about Chumaka Claventil, you guys have many people have no clue where Chumaka Claventil now. I can guarantee you, and I can guarantee you this, and this is an unscientific poll. I can guarantee you now that many people, which is 51% of the population, know where Chumaka Claventil is because of the same thing I've been singing over and over and over again, right? So, you know, I mean, we are entitled to our opinion, of course. And here's his next comment. Ansem, you need to change that song sheet. You can't go on with the same thing from last year. Time to step out of your crease and start something for your people in Davantil. You see, there you go again, right? You want me, right, to do something that will make you happy. You understand? That's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be that, Martin Luther King have another quote. He said you don't have to see the whole staircase, you only have to see the first flight. You see? So I'm not looking to see what the staircase will look like up on the 9th floor. I'm not looking for that. All I want to see is the first flight. And all I'm seeing is an abandoned building sitting in Chumaka, Claventel for 11 years, right? And I have never come here. Tommy, you can say, you can agree with that, Tommy, or disagree. I have never come here and be critical of the UNC for 2010 to 2015. The building sat there 4 years under the UNC. I've never come and criticize the UNC because criticizing them make absolutely no sense because the UNC not in power now. I criticize the P&M because the building been sitting there for 7 years under the P&M. That is my criticism. And the 3 buildings that have been unpainted, been sitting here, right, for years upon years under the P&M. So, Vonnie, maybe what you need to do, Vonnie, is to say, you know what, boy, and some fighting for those poor, black, disadvantaged people that nobody else is really fighting for, Not even P&M activists. You know what them say? Just like what them guys say in the morning. Tommy, let me back up a little bit. Tommy, I was in a program this morning called the Underground Report. The Ground Report, right? Sorry, as always get mixed up, right? And I was talking about them guys at this pushback movement, and I'm saying to them, I say, this pushback movement is not about country. It's not about country. I said, why don't you guys push back in all 41 constituencies? Why don't you guys ever push back for that abandoned building that been sitting in Chumaka Claventel for 11 years, a decade and 1 year, 11 years? Why don't you guys push back for that? Andy Williams and Lennox Smith, I'm paraphrasing, jumped up and said, well, we're afraid to go up there because if you go up there, what more than people will do you up there, right? You see the mindset already? You see the mindset? So they're not about country. Them absolutely not anything about country, right? Them boys are selective. They are selective in what they're doing. They're selective. So if you have a constituency like Laventil, and you decided that you're not going to go up there because of information, because there might be 5% bad people or 10% bad people. Let me say that. There's 5 or 10% bad people. So that means the other 90% people, right, they're not good either. That ain't making sense now. Make it make sense now. But them guys admit that they ain't going up there. So they're not about country. They're absolutely not about country. And I was shocked and amazed that them fellas said that on national radio. I was saddened. I almost cried. Them fellas admit on public radio that them have a movement in Trinidad and Tobago. And they want to talk about country, but them fellas not going up there. Now, Tommy, I missed something, Tommy.
Wow.
I missed something. Tommy, I missed something. Tell me I missed something now.
No,
No, Tommy, I wanted to be critical.
Well,
Tell me I missed something.
I'll tell you something. Unless it affects them fellas directly, they don't care.
Correct is right. Them fellas really don't care, Them fellas are only playing the care, Them have a push. Imagine this. You have a pushback movement in Trinidad, right? And you only pushing back for certain things. And when I bring something to you, before you say, but you know what? Let me at least think about that, We will think about it. Them fellas come to conclusion one time, They waste no time, Boy, you mad. When us go up there, when we go up there. So all you selective, and I have told them from the beginning, You see that pushback movement thing? Right? I could never stand with them fellas in that pushback movement. They're not about country. That's politics, and who can fill the pockets. That's politics and the pockets. Double P's.
Strictly partisan.
Correct. So Tommy, what's wrong with you having a pushback movement in all 41 constituencies?
That's the only way it makes sense.
It makes sense because that is the country. You talking about country and you go and you go next one time. Well, we are ready in Savannah. I said, you really serious? He said, I didn't in Savannah. Right? And here comes Bonnie now telling me that I changed my song. Bonnie wants me to sing a song, right, that he likes. Bonnie send me the song, I'm going to sing it for you. Send me a song that you like, that you want me to sing, and I will sing it. That's part of the problem that we have in the country. Plenty of you jumping up and talking about we for country, but no, I am for country, but leave out Lavantel. Leave Lavantel out of that. Them, you see them up there? Honestly, them, me going up there, see lot and beat them, nah, we want nothing to do with them.
Aslam, hear what Fish Stick says. Wall Street, but let's say that never get painted. The people who live in there can't paint their own portion. Because none of them, he says, because none of them paying rent there. I'm sure about
You see, that's part of the problem. How does Fish Stick know if anybody up there not paying rent or paying rent? Have you ever gone up there and did a survey or speak to people up there? Fish Stick, have you ever gone up to Chumaka and speak? Erica John live up there. Let me ask Erica John. Curtis Monteshad, you used to live up in Chumaka. How could you see these kind of broad-based statements? How could you?
John say if you only know.
Who's that?
John says, Wall Street, you really don't know.
Wall Street, no, what I don't know. Tell me what I don't know. So all you're saying that, wait, it's not the people who actually have, it's not the people who come and steal people's apartments. You know, I know that that's going on, eh? When people move out, people just move in and take the apartment. And the government don't do nothing about it. Right? So all you're telling me, that there are people up there who basically stealing rent. And they don't pay nothing. And if there are few of them, it's all of them and they don't do that. But wait, let me answer that question. The speed limit here on the New Jersey Turnpike is 55 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour.
65.
65. Does everybody go 65 miles per hour, Tommy?
Nope.
So if a few people go 70 miles per hour and they get caught, right? The other 95% who go by the speed limit, the 5% is to now cast over this 95% and say them speeding too?
Yeah. Now they say don't study them it do not no change in Trinidad.
That's the problem. Every time, oh God, they ain't paying their rent. They ain't doing this. It's always an excuse. Why? To keep them in that condition. And is it PNM fault? Me afraid to say that? The PNM having them in that condition for years upon years.
Where does
and people have to blame too?
Chris Watson live?
What is that?
Where does Chris Watson live? Isn't he not from Laventille?
No, Curtis Monteshad used to live in Laventille.
Okay, because Chris saying the people are not ready for change.
What do you mean by the people not ready for change?
I don't know, but Chris Watson said they're not ready for change.
No, hear this. Now hear choice, man. And some, if the PNM had fixed the building in Chumakak, we'll be bad mouthing them this way. Now, Joy, think about it, right? If you ask for something and you get it, right? Won't you be happy? So let me make I'm going to make that analogy. Right? Tommy, if you ask for something and you get it, you go badmouth them for giving you what you asked for?
No.
So what is that supposed to mean then? If I go badmouth them, so listen. What about all the time I stayed quiet and I ain't saying nothing? How long we been there now? 11 years. Right? 7 years and been paying them. All the time I was quiet. Because nobody wasn't saying nothing. And how is that bad mouthing them in order for you to improve your community? Since when trying to get your community improved is bad mouthing? Or help me because I'm trying to understand. So Tony, what should I do? I want only to give my advice. I should be quiet. Vonnie Roberts already told me that I need to move on. I need to leave that alone. I'm going to go back to Vonnie Roberts. I don't want to misquote him. Vonnie Roberts says, here we go. Ansem, you were off key this morning on breaking barriers. It seems it's been the same song you have been singing for too long, right? Ansem, you need to change that song sheet. You can't go on with the same thing from last year. Time to step out of your crease and start something for your people in Laventil. So what it is that, you see, this is part of the problem, right? We allow, and this is not handouts. This is not the people asking the government for any handouts. I'm not asking the government for any handouts. I'm asking the government to do their jobs. We are the government. We're supposed to keep them in check. I mean, it's acceptable for a building to be sitting 11 years in our community abandoned. Think about this. In 2011, a 10-year-old kid living in Chumaka, Laventil, saw that building burn down. 11 years later, at 21 years of age, that same kid, now 21 years of age, still seeing that building. Mental health. And that's acceptable. And I need to change my song, need to change my tune.
They like it, so.
Very welcome.
Good night, everybody. Boy, listen to me. It looked like we have more problem than the people living home, man. Tell you the truth.
But Gary, maybe what we need to do, we need to leave them alone.
It's no poor people down there, boy. It's no poor people down
there. We need to leave these people alone. We need to leave Trinbagonians who live in Trinidad alone. No, seriously. Because when we are fighting for them and fighting for things that many of them don't want to fight for, all of a sudden is a problem. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. So Albert Montana says he know about Chumakak for years now. And Tommy, you already said. You see, but you see again, language is important. Fistick says, Wall Street, let's say that never get painted. All right, let's say never get painted. The people who live in there can't paint their own portion. Okay, let's say the people decide, right? The most disadvantaged people, right, in some of the most disadvantaged people in the country, right, just trying to put 3 square meals of food on their kids' table, buy them school books, buy them school clothes, and buy them a little something, a little something extra, a little, church clothes or so on, right? Now, hear what Fishstick says. Because none of them paying rent there, and I'm sure about that. Fishstick, listen to this, right, Fishstick? I will donate $20,000 to a charity of your choice if you can prove that. I want all of you to listen carefully. Fishstick, I will donate $20,000 to a charity of your choice if you can prove that. Because you said none of them paying rent there, and I'm sure about that. So you absolutely sure. You already have the statistics, right? You went to the Ministry of Housing, you asked how all them people have been living, none of them people paying rent. $20,000 to a charity of your choice. The ball is in your court now. Language. We have to be careful about language. You said, cause none of them paying one there. I'm 100% sure about that. You're 100% sure, you know. So pick out the charity, let me know, and I will donate 20,000 TT to a charity of your choice. If you can prove that.
Well, you heard what Trish says. He said, donate that 20,000 you promised the man in Tobago. Oh my
Who man
God.
is that?
I don't know.
Watch out
Which
for our
man?
guest there.
What? Okay, so Chris Watson asks if the people are ready for change, right? They voted out the PLM and they vote now, right? The people of the country, they voted out the PLM, they vote now. They voted out the PLM again and they vote the UNC. You know? So, you see? Fishstick says, Wall Street, we all know how Laventil Porter-Spin environment is, especially those apartments. The people there don't pay rent, even they have a rent to be paid.
Oh, well.
John, I'm not stressing myself out, you know. But you see, the misinformation is the part. Misinformation and inaccuracies is unacceptable. Plain talk, bad manners. Plain talk, bad manners.
So, guess backstage yet?
Nah, not yet. Nah. So you see, you know, many people have said, "Oh, they should drop a bomb and you beat them and clean out all of them." Right? It's like if we in a war. It's like Iraq, Russia versus Ukraine, and Russia dropping bombs on hospitals, on schools and things, and killing people. So Troy Smith said, answer, I don't mean it like that. If you see the ills of the PNM, will you still have all this fight in you? Of course. But all right, so I don't get that. Answer, I don't mean it. If you see the ills of the PNM, would you still have all this fight in you? Tommy and Guy, help me with that. So I'm seeing all the ills of the PNM, and I thought I'm seeing the PNM ills and I'm bringing it to the attention. So okay,
something is illogical about what that says.
Yeah, Troy, you have to clarify that for me, because I don't mean it like that. I understand that. If you see the ills of the PNM, which I'm seeing, I'm bringing it to the attention. Exile and stranded citizens are ills of the PNM, and we fought hard for here. Hard. This program was born out of exile and stranded citizens, Ugari. This program was born out of that. Right? Chris Watson says, if the population in China want to change, all will be on the streets and on social media saying they need change. I agree with you. But you see, we are it's so much politics.
Check again and see. Check again. She says she's on. I don't know.
Nah, she hold on. Let me check. Nah, she's not on.
She maybe click on the wrong. Let me call her.
Me, you, and Tommy here. Nah, she's not there. You know, Chris Watson, I hear you, but I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know if the people are ready for change, because change means you may have to change your party. And I don't know if many people in Trinidad and Tobago are ready to change their party affiliation. Some people may not change and just sit on the sidelines. But I don't think people in Trinidad are ready for change.
Someone, Curtis Monteshad wants to be called by you. 8608. What else?
Say that again.
Curtis Monteshad wants to be called by you.
You want me to call him?
That's what he says.
What's his number?
He said 8608. I don't know why just 4 digits.
Yeah. Curtis, if you do, give a little more than that. So, Ronnie Roberts says, I can't understand Wall Street. If an election is called, here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. I can't understand Wall Street. If an election is called, who do you think you're going to vote for? Nobody knows. No one knows who I'm going to vote for. I could sit on the sidelines. I could not vote. I could not vote. So if I don't vote, who do you think I'm going to vote for if I don't vote? See, you can't say that because you don't know what I'm going to vote or I'm not going to vote. You don't know if I'm going to vote for the PNM or if I'm going to vote for someone else. You guys don't know that. You really don't. Unless you reach into my brain and figure out what I'm going to do.
Okay, Curtis left a number for you to call.
Yeah. And Vonnie, I don't know who you're going to vote for. Vonnie, who are you going to vote for? I don't know who you're going to vote for. I can't tell. I can't. I don't know who anybody are going to vote for because people can vote for whoever they want. That's a personal decision. So because I vote for the party that you may not support, something is wrong with that? Or because you vote for the party I do not support, something is wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. You have the right to pick whichever party you want to support. And if that's the party you choose to support, I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. Because
Okay.
in this country here, we have Democrats, we have Republicans. Well, we could say you have independents, but Democrats and Republicans. And there are some people who, from Democrats, turn Republicans. And people who are Republicans turn Democrats.
Check
and
again.
it's the same thing. Huh?
Check again and see. She said
Backstage.
No, nobody's backstage.
Oh boy.
You sure she's in there?
Yeah, she said she's on that link, so I don't know. All right, let me call her again.
Gary, I think she might be getting into the YouTube link. Tell her it's the other link.
Yeah. Right.
She might be in the YouTube link. Here she is now. She now came in.
Okay.
She just came in. So let's bring her in. Or she just got kicked out again. Right? So Vonnie, you who donate? Fistix says donate. Fistix, what 20,000 I promised for man in Tobago? I know. Okay, Chris Watson says the narrative is, let's face facts, the narrative is PNM is a black party and the UNC is an Indian party. Anything changed? It was so in the beginning. So that means I think we need to change that narrative.
I think that's more perception than reality.
Exactly. More perception than reality.
Yeah, it's just food. Anyway. But what Curtis Monteshad has to say, I think he wants to be called at 862-301-354.
So tell Curtis to hold on. Let's bring in our first guest. And after we have this guest, we will call Curtis because we don't have another guest after this guest. Welcome. I'm going to remove this here. Welcome. Is it Mrs. Benjamin or Miss Benjamin?
It was Mrs. It's just Miss Benjamin is fine.
Okay. Welcome. Because we here like to give people who come into the village our due respect.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
But I have no idea who I'm speaking to right now.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets at WZYE 95.9 FM. The DAG is DAG. V is considered to be Diana. Diana is going to be joining us soon. Diana is considered to be the storm. A is myself, Anselm, or Wall Street. G is Gary. Gary is the person who reached out to you. Gary is
Yes,
considered to be the phantom. And then we have a fourth person called Tommy. Tommy Nesbitt is a commissioner here in Newark. So, Miss Benjamin, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Considering all that's happening in this country, I'm doing okay.
Hmm. Okay. So, tell us a little bit about what constituency you are from, and it's my understanding that you're an older woman too as well. So tell us a little bit
Yes.
about that.
Okay, I live in Pointe-a-Pierre and it falls within the Cuba Tabaqui Talpara Regional Corporation. I'm an alderman at that corporation. Aldermen in the corporations are not, we do not go up for an election. We are selected by the party that controls the corporation. And we are selected members there based on our skills, our talent, and it's like we are like a support person to all of the councillors, not just one, and the entire constituency.
So what exactly we hear about? So what is the hierarchy? We understand there's an MP. We understand there's a councillor, right? What in the hierarchy? Where does an older person, older man, or older woman fit in the hierarchy of things?
Well, we are similar to councillors. We have basically more or less the similar duties, I should say. We go out into the constituency, meet the burgesses. We do many different things, including, as I said, support the councillors in terms of their projects and what local government really is about. And as my chairman of my corporation says, who is Mr. Henry Awong, and he's been the chairman of the Cuba Tabaqui Talpara Regional Corporation, and to make it short, we say CTTRC. And local government, as he always puts it, begins at the second you open your door of your home. It starts with your garbage collections, your drains cleaned, your the landscaping around the area is done, fixing of lights, and many other things that goes on for the burgesses. We have support systems at the corporation itself for the burgesses. So basically that's it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of footwork, I should say, because we are on the ground most of the time. But it's one that I think we all have a passion for. We all enjoy it. And meeting the people and listening to the people and what their needs are. And when the greatest joy and satisfaction comes when you can give a Burgesses the satisfaction of getting something done. We do building approvals, um, the various, how should I say, roads maintenance, and quite a few, a long list.
So each regional corporation has an alderman.
Yes, all of them have aldermen.
Okay. All right. And that's a position that I guess it's a selected position. And
Yes,
how long does it last? How long does a position last?
3 years, and this is my second term, so I'm going to be doing 6 years. Um, our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, is the one that selected me, and I guess don't want to say, but I mean I was selected a second time. I feel very happy about that because one of the things our council has various committees. I am the chairman of the Education and Training Committee. So basically, what I would function as there is I would look for the weak points within even the administration, and I would formulate and prepare training for the staff, for the councils. We also go out into the burgesses, into the corporation, the constituency, and provide various different types of training, be it academic, be it things to do with agriculture, be it self-defense classes, and many other things like that.
Now, is an older man or older woman a stepping stone to a councillor or an MP?
No, not really, not at all. Unless you desire to be one and you put through your nomination papers and you are selected to be a counselor, but it is not like an up a rank that you move up. It's totally up to the individual. In my case, I am very happy as an alderman because I love what I do. Um, I do not have any desire to be a councillor or an MP really at this point, and I have quite a few projects on my plate that does not allow me to be so entrenched.
Now, is an alderman a paid position?
Yes, we are all, it's a
Okay.
stipend, it's not a salary. It's referred to as a stipend.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now, does an alderman come with an office and so on? Is there an office?
No, aldermen do not have offices. The councillors have offices. The MPs have offices. Um, but we do not have offices.
So, can people in the constituency reach out to you for things that need to be done in the
Yes,
constituency?
yes. And because I live in Pointe-a-Pierre, I was born in Pointe-a-Pierre, and I know quite a lot of the Pointe-a-Pierre people. I remember my first term when I became an alderman, I was getting so many calls. But what the aldermen do is like, so for example, the councillor for the Pointe-a-Pierre area is my counselor is Counselor Nadia Khan Mohammed. And what I would do is when I get the complaint or the problem, I will take it to my counselor. I would call my counselor and let her know where it's happening, what it is. And when we get into council, we find a way to resolve that. Unfortunately, because the CTTRC is a UNC controlled corporation, meaning all the councillors they are UNC councillors. I am a UNC alderman, and because of the restrictions in terms of finances and the lack of funding, and I know a lot of people probably they're very tired of hearing this, but it is the reality of it. Our hands are tied behind our back, and sometimes it becomes a very challenging to get some of the things done. What the new thinking is, and what has been happening to the councils, we have been getting a lot of alliances with the corporations, with the private sector, and we have been able to fulfill some of the major problems that we have in some of the areas.
So, um, an alderman, then a councillor, then an MP. So, I'm just trying to differentiate the difference between a councillor and an alderman. As far as what are the
As I
significant.
said, one is elected and one is selected.
Right. Yeah, I
Appointed,
understand that.
selected and
Appointed.
appointed.
Okay. So basically, is that you guys are working in unison in trying to
Yes,
improve
we
things.
do actually. There's a lot of harmony in it. There's a lot of synergy involved in it. And one of the things that, from my experience, I don't know what happens. I cannot speak for other corporations, quite frankly. But in my corporation, I know that my councillors and my aldermen, we have beautiful relationships in the sense of how we work together and what we accomplish and what we can get done.
Now, what is your take on what happened at Paria? Because that's in your constituency, right?
Yes, and that's why Gary asked me on this program because he said, I want you to tell us what happened there. So the Paria fiasco started at 2 p.m. on Friday, the 25th, I think it was, of February.
Mhm.
And I went in on that scene on Saturday morning, all because I knew three of the divers. One that was extremely close to my family. The other one grew up in not a stone throw away from me. And the third one that I knew him by way of relations with his mom. And what was the most, and I want to use a simple word as disgusting with the whole thing, is that on Saturday morning I left because we were told that the minister is coming to meet with the families of the divers that were stuck down in the pipe. And that meeting must have happened at around 12, between 12 noon and 1 p.m. Could have been a little later. After the meeting, the families thought that the Minister of Energy and the Paria management were going to do everything possible to rescue those divers. That, my dear sir, was the furthest from the truth. And what unfolded from Saturday at about, let's say, 2 p.m. to Monday night at about, let's say, 11:30 p.m. was something like if you were looking at a horror movie. We were all waiting for something positive to happen. We had divers on standby, and not just one. We had two very experienced qualified divers. We had other divers from North Trinidad come down to Pointe-a-Pierre to join these divers so that the rescue mission, and I use the word rescue because that is what it was until Sunday evening, the rescue mission would have taken place. One of the divers that was on site was able to rescue one out of the four, one out of the five, Christopher Budram, who was rescued. And with all hope, the divers that rescued Christopher Budram knew that they were going to save the other four, all because of what was happening down there. The unfortunate thing that happened to us is when they rescued Christopher Budram, they were suddenly told by Paria, they meaning the divers, that they were not allowed on the compound anymore. The gates were locked, and I mean the front gate of Petrotrin, and if for those of you who know where it is, they were locked. Security was placed, most additional security was placed on site, and all that we got is that they were waiting on a pass, which is a piece of paper with a signature. As much as we tried and begged and pleaded with the management, with the minister, with the prime minister, with the minister of national security, we were pleading and begging with everyone that we could have publicly that time is of the essence. We cannot leave these guys down in that pipe there. I personally did not know what the situation was. I do remember when they pulled Christopher Budram out, they took him straight to the hospital, and they indicated to us that he was tested positive for COVID. It confused everybody because you just pulled him out of the water, and we couldn't understand that at all. We continued to say,
what happened with that test? What happened? He tested positive, then what happened?
Today, I'll be honest with you. Today, I met with Mr. Christopher Budram, and we sat down and we had a very long talk. And funny enough, none of us understood what happened with that test. Where did that test come from? Was it was it really so, or what was it? We got no answers. We were there in a car park with a dirty, broken down bus shed that was rat ridden. It hadn't been used for probably over more than 10 years. It was very filthy. There was no light. There was absolutely zero. If you could imagine how the homeless person lives in Trinidad, that is what we were looking like at a point in time. We had the public that brought in food for us. Paria never once, and I am not, and they can challenge me on this as much as they want. Paria never once called any member of the family to ask if we needed anything or was there anything else they can do to help. They never gave us a feedback on anything at all. No communication. No communications officer came out. Nothing, literally. All the plea that went on via many persons, social media, even the media, national news, nothing happened. Nothing. The most heart-wrenching thing was to look at the Minister of Energy go on national television and lie. And I mean literally lie, because we were there and 90% of what he was saying was a lie. He indicated that he sent some trauma counselors to the families. Nothing like that was done even up to today. He indicated that all stops were going to be removed so that we can rescue those divers. Absolutely nothing. We were told phone call after phone call. I must have made about 9 phone calls. I kept my calls on my phone so that there's a record of how many times I called Paria management, because these are wives. This was a mother and 2 wives, and we were looking at these persons in horror, in absolute horror. They couldn't speak. Their emotions were running very high. They were begging, they were pleading, they were desperate. And nothing changed. The minister never called. He never sent a representative to find out, well, okay, I indicated to Paria we should move all stops. Why is it this? And I'm going to describe myself like this. Why is this crazy woman on live streaming and calling my name all the time? What is going on down there? Because I thought by live streaming and saying what was happening, I would have gotten some attention from the minister. I got none. No one, and I'm not exaggerating by any means, did anything. We got indication that this Coast Guard was put out there. We had the Fishing Association in Cali Bay and Orange Valley and Pointe-a-Pierre and Clacton Bay. Even the fishermen came out with their boats and offered it to the whole team that was there. Whatever we needed came in, whatever. The equipment to dive, everything was needed, was there. We were refused access into that premises because of whatever instructions was going on. I made a clarion call to Mr. Mustaq Mohammed, who is the CEO. We made a clarion call to the chairman. Nothing. And that was the most heart-wrenching thing we could have gone through.
Yeah, I hear you, and I know that was a very, very difficult position for many of
It
those who
wasn't
went
just
through that.
difficult, you know. You know what it felt like, and I'll be honest, and this is how I felt. It felt like I was literally looking at a group of people murder 4 men. Because all along, our experienced divers were telling us up until Saturday night, they can rescue the guys. And they were denied that. And these divers, two of the divers were sons of one of the guys that died.
Mhm.
And you will not imagine the kind of trauma that everybody who was there went through.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I cannot imagine. Me personally, I can imagine, what those families were going through on that night. And the thing I find kind of difficult is that there was no rescue effort made
I
on
am telling
behalf.
you, I was there on site, there was none.
Mhm.
They can say what they want. They have to prove to me by way of videotape showing me that they had divers in that water going down to literally save those guys. There was none. There was none. We were speaking to persons inside a area because remember, the divers who were outside, they also had acquaintances of persons inside a area, and there were no rescue efforts.
Mhm. Now stay right there. We gotta go for a quick station identification. Folks, it's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We have with us Anji Benjamin, Miss Anji Benjamin, a alderman in the Pointe-a-Pierre area. So stick and stay, don't go nowhere. Let's go for a quick station identification. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE LP 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM, and we have the older woman from live and direct from Pointe-a-Pierre, Miss
You
Anji.
can say Alderman, I would not feel offended at all. It's not a
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
Not a
It's,
problem.
it's kind of different saying older man and so on and
There,
so
I say to myself, there are greater things in this life to worry about than misrepresentative of a title. So,
forth. Okay. That's
yeah.
okay. So
So
make it
today
easy.
in my discussion with the the surviving diver and the wife of one of the divers,
Mm-hmm.
I am taking my call and my fight in a different direction. Whereas we are searching for justice for these divers, it is clear to me that Paria has no intentions whatsoever in supporting these families. I'm saying, we have 4 families with very, very young children. And if you were to visit their homes, you would realize that these guys were putting their house in order, as we say in Trinidad, planning for their children education, excuse me, fixing their homes, lots of different things. You can see the signs of it, the physical signs of it. And today, when I spoke to Christopher Budram, I understood the trauma, the mental trauma, the emotional trauma that he's going through. Up until today, Christopher cannot sleep properly. He sleeps for an average of 1 hour per night. Can you imagine that? He sleeps for 1 hour per night. No one has been reaching out to him. And these are not, without putting it out there, these are not persons that can go into a bank account like some of our ministers and pull out $3 million, And that is the sad part about it, because the country alone, and last night I heard on a political platform, we have spent $330 billion in this country within the last 6 years. And you are looking at families that their lives were taken away from them. Christopher will never get back in that water, as he said to me. He owns 2 boats, fishing boats. He is not going back in that water. He's a qualified, I forgot the terminology they use for putting together underwater pipes and pipes of different things and the welding and so on. He will never go back into that, even that. So they literally took away this young man's life.
No,
He used to look at his children every single day and wonder, how am I going to do this? Because he has a 14-year-old son.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. I noticed that there was a news story today in The Guardian by Sacha Wilson indicating that I think it's Annan Ramlogan, which is Christopher Budram attorney. They're asking for Paria to pay for medical expenses.
Because these young, okay, so the kind of damage that Christopher went through with his physical body, his mental state, needs to be addressed before it gets too late. What do I mean by too late? The longer he takes to get any kind of trauma treatment, the harder it's going to be to fix it. His physical body looks a little better than when I saw him about a week or 2 weeks ago. But his arms are still left bruised. His legs are bruised still from the damages that he got. And no one knows as yet whether physically Christopher is okay, because it's going to cost him a lot of money to go and do a complete head-to-toe examination to make sure he's okay.
Has there been anything at all offered by Paria since this incident has happened to any of the surviving families?
Okay, you want the truth?
Yeah,
the truth is, there was a phone call made to Miss Henry asking her if she would like something. That's it.
What about the other family members?
No, nothing. I have been spending night and day with Rishi Nagasa's family, because Rishi Nagasa has a 3-year-old child, and up until today, that child does not know his father is not coming back home. About a week ago, he started washing his hands, going in front of his daddy's picture and asking his daddy to please come home. I washed my hands, daddy. Could you please come home now? That is not something very easy to look at. And the worst part is to know that I live in this country with such heartless, careless people. And whether it sounds political or not, I'm going to call it out, because I do not remember anybody saying when you become a prime minister, you become a prime minister of only the persons who voted for you. And that bothers me, because what we all went through, as I said before, is sheer neglect. And it was obvious that Paria did not have any safety management in place, because the OWTU was there from Friday. and the OSHA representative on the OWTU team said to me, there was one gentleman in Paria now, just one, since they shut down Petrotrin and reopened as Paria. And really and truly, that is not a health and safety person.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi, this is Diana. I'm sorry I'm late.
It's
I'm
okay,
in a
Diana. Better
class.
late
I'm in a
than never.
class. I'm in a
Better
class and I ran away to come join. I I suffer. I'm a survivor, so I know what post traumatic stress is, and uh, somebody in authority needs to address these survivors of this trauma, especially the children, because the post-traumatic stress disorder, the tentacles of that, it really it takes a hold of you. You get nightmares and all sorts of illnesses comes out of this, and I am so disappointed in the establishment, the current establishment, and no one took the initiative to offer condolences or to go and hold the hands of the widows and the children, survivors of these men.
And
I'm
I tell you,
disappointed.
man, in my I really, really genuinely thought that after we made so many protests, so many calls, somebody would show up. Anybody, no
Mm.
one, and I'm not exaggerating, no one showed up. In my absence during the daytime when I'm not with the Nagasa family, I would ask Vanessa, the wife, did anybody come to you today? And she said, nope.
It's sad. It's so sad. You know.
Well, is
I
it sad or is it, as a country, I told everybody while I was live streaming, I feel I felt um, disappointed, I felt hurt, and I felt a little bit ashamed to know that the country did not come out and put that pressure to save those poor men.
hmm And I'll tell you something. I will go on record and saying, and I told Anselm this, when the incident happened, someone sent me a clip or a message on Messenger. Diana, something happened at Paria. 4 divers are stuck under the water there and they can't get out. I said, what do you mean 4 divers are stuck? I left a voice clip at 7:11 for the Prime Minister, what was going on, because I happen to have his number from Gary Mahabia, what was going on. And I shared the voice clip with Anselm in the group. Mr. Prime Minister, this is going on at 7:11. Can you please dispatch some people to get these men from under there? I did that at
But Diana, I'm glad
7:11.
you said that because you did exactly what a lot of us did. Because
Yep.
some of us do have the various ministers' numbers.
Yeah.
Faris Alwari, Minister Faris Alwari, who was the Attorney General at the time, I mean, he's from San Fernando, and I said to him publicly, these are your people. Why are you not here? Why are you not telling your colleagues what is going on? Is it that an entire cabinet is so heartless? Is it that an entire administration that we have put to run this country that heartless? And how do you sleep at night knowing that you literally had the power to save them and you did not?
And hearing now that they were alive for 3 days.
Well, I'll tell you something. Monday, when we had to reaching out his body, I went with his wife. As I said, I have been giving them a little bit more support than I gave the others. And we went to forensic and we waited because Rishi Nagas's wife would have seen the other 3 bodies, right? And they would have been in a very, very bad state because of the oils and etc. So she came out crying uncontrollably. So in my mind, I said, well, You know, I thought it's because of what she saw. But when we got to the car park and we started talking, I said, "Are you okay? What did you see?" She says, "You know, my husband did not die Saturday and he did not die Sunday morning because his body was still okay. He had no bulging eyes, no swollen lips, no bloated stomach, nothing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
only because of to be sensitive to the family and not to prove that, you know, not to be insensitive to others who were looking on. We were going to do an open casket, you know. And then, you know, when you think back, you said, you know what, let's leave it. Let's leave it there. Because an open casket would have literally showed you what we were seeing.
Hmm. Oh boy.
But it is the country that we live in, and we must all take stock of ourselves and what we put in place to run a country for us. Because as far as I'm concerned, we have destroyed so many families with this one incident. Because it's a ripple effect that's happening right now. And you have to be here in Trinidad to understand that.
You
People
don't
are
have
here
to.
till
You don't have
Sunday
to be
on
there.
a
You can
daily
feel. You
basis.
feel it. You feel it because.
And you're there. Look how
Yeah.
angry you are. But if you come
Yeah.
into Trinidad right now, you're going to feel that sense of betrayal, that
Hmm.
sense of mistrust, that sense of hopelessness. Up until Sunday, we had a protest for the divers because justice must be served, one, and these families must be taken care of. And that
Definitely.
is going to be my next mission. Taria has to pay and set up whatever trust fund they have to so that these young little kids get their education that their parents were planning to have for them. And
Definitely.
up until Sunday, you had persons crying for these divers.
Yeah, I think the situation was tragic. And another thing that stood out to me, that I felt that in a situation like this, the prime minister should have came out and call a press conference and bring all these guys together. You know, the Newman George, you know, Piper, and Stuart Young, Minister of National Security. You know, and they all have a press conference down there in Pointe-a-Pierre, and tell the family that, listen, at least, you know, you're not gonna comfort them, but, you know, just show that you actually care, and you are coming together to talk. You know, at least have a press conference. You know, all of them. You know, and that really didn't happen. I mean, I think Stuart Young had a press conference. You know, but
But having a press conference is one thing, and nothing is wrong with that. But lying to the entire nation, knowing that there were about 100 people in that situation for 4 days that knows the truth, and you go on national TV and you lie, says
Hmm.
a lot. We need to introspect. We need to look at that so carefully. And what made it worse is that the Minister of Energy was the one that was the center of this entire thing. A prime minister did a reshuffle and left the Minister of Energy right where he was.
Hmm.
How does that feel like justice?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Yes, I know. And we thank you all for highlighting this. I know that it's really good to know that you all are on the other side of the world there with us and you still care about what happens to us here.
But this is our birth land. This is
Yes,
what we try to tell people, you know. People tell us, "Oh, we out there and there, and we ran away from there, and we left there, and whatnot." Yeah, we did leave there for economic opportunity, like a lot. You see what's going on now? What's going on now in Trinidad? There is no, you know, jobs for people now, so people are gonna try to leave again. You know, so but it is our homeland. We want to see economic growth and opportunity, but we care about where we're born.
there are no programs that I
Huh?
can see stimulate any kind of
Yeah, you're going in and out.
agriculture.
You're going in and out.
Um, we have tried. I, we
we have really, really tried. Now, in my corporation, the CTTRC, the one local economic development program we did into the green market that continues to grow. And what it did is it took the farmers out of the farm and direct to the customer. So we have eliminated two sets of a middleman and a third man, and now farmers are making a bit more money. They are very pleased. And you're not seeing a whole lot of these things happening around the country. I mean, the country was plunged into the news that, as one political leader said, we're happy to have our permanent workers here, but the point is you have a large unemployment number here. Why can't you give our people the jobs? We have persons that are literally on the breadline starving, and I'm not exaggerating by any means, and I will share some pictures with you sometime in the future. You have single mothers that are literally on the brink of. We had a couple that committed suicide, and they wrote why they did a video on why they did the suicide. I mean, when your administration or your rulers of your country or the persons that lead your country allow these things to continue to happen and goes about their normal business doing all what they do, they are hopeless. They are feeling the hopelessness on this island. I'm telling you that.
And Miss Janine Brandt talk about it, and then they want to crucify her when she highlighted it on her platform.
Dana, you might be in a little feedback, I think. Your phone in a little feedback.
My microphone? Okay, let me.
Yeah. So,
my microphone just
yeah,
my mic.
somebody giving us a little feedback.
Is that better?
You're still getting a little feedback.
Anybody hearing me?
Yeah, Gary, we hearing you.
Okay.
Somebody we getting feedback from.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
A little bit. But Miss Benjamin, oh, she got kicked out. She got kicked out. Okay, she got kicked out. So we gotta come back. So Diana, when you went here, but we had some so let me go back to a few things. Vonnie Roberts stated that he wasn't talking about me, he was talking about the people of Laventille, right? Let me see. All right, let me go back here. Jones said that is true. HDC is afraid to go up there. Sometimes the rent is $10 and they don't ever pay that. Don't talk. And then Jones says, don't forget Sharon Felix. Okay. Fishstick says,
what do you mean by Sharon Felix? I don't understand. What do you mean by that? Can they explain that?
I don't, Joan, you're gonna have to figure out why you said don't forget Sharon Felix, because I don't know what that was. Fishstick says, Joan, thank you. Even in Maloney Apartments. And some don't know what he's talking about. He feels Trinidad sending his times back in the 90s. Okay.
Oh no.
Jones says, I say Wall Street don't know. Okay. Oh God. Bonnie says, you know, if the 1% had Laventille, it will have been a small Dubai. The view from the top of the hill is awesome. Bonnie, that's full 100. My mother-in-law lives in a certain part of Laventille that when you get the view there go and you look across, I say, mother-in-law, don't care what you do, don't sell that, you know. Keep it right there. Keep it right there. Jones says, Wall Street, stay with the PNM. Hey, Curtis, we go call you just now. Vonnie said, I was not speaking of you, I was speaking about the people of Laventille. Okay, Vonnie Robert. Okay. Vonnie says, so read the text correctly, please. Okay, Vonnie Roberts. Okay, I apologize if I missed.
But no, they need to call in and or send a voice note or something and elaborate a little more. Those,
if I missed it. Oh,
Yeah,
Fistix is Wall Street News Channel where you was a co-host. The man waiting for that Tobago Wall Street Empowerment Foundation still. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry, Fistix. Just like anyway. I feel Wall Street today need a hard drink. He went off. Hard drink. Darling, pass my Moby Day. Hey, you need to read the text correctly. All right. I read it correctly. Fistix if one he needs to drink some dye and puncheon. Oh God. Dye and puncheon. I know I will survive that. My head, I can't drink, you know. My head is at. Takesha said I'm wicked. Who wicked Takesha? Oh God, Takesha say heartless too, right? Fistix say Heinz say does only take advice from experts and allocate the funds. So Heinz don't know nothing about the position then. He should be working in the Ministry of Finance for Imbert instead. Yeah. Heartless boy. Oh God. Fistix. I know about that one, huh? Hey, Miss Coover, good night. Welcome, how are you? What taxi inside?
But what Heinz went to the prisons. 4 prisoners climb over the wall and walk away like this.
Lollipop, good night. You know, when you have a name like Lollipop, you know that's a good name, bro. No, Lollipop, how you get a name?
And Slim, did you see the thing where the 4 prisoners walk out like they walk in they had a pass, they had a day pass.
Well, they were
Five, and they recovered 2.
right. No recover. It's 4 of them they recover. They
Okay.
recover 4 now. 4 of them.
And they walk like they had a day pass. Yeah. They no guard, nobody wasn't chasing them, none.
Nobody was in a minimum prison, you know. The prison was a minimum prison. You know.
Minimum security.
Well, I guess they're gonna put them in maximum now. They walked, and they proved that what Heinz said is not his job to keep the citizens safe.
Why always so upset with Fitzgerald Hines, boy? Can Fitzgerald Hines really do anything about those things? Seriously.
And he's the deputy leader, isn't he?
But can he really do anything about those type of things?
Not.
No, seriously. Can he do something about that? What about the prison commissioner, the commissioner of the prisons? What about the commissioner of police? Is that really the Minister of National Security's responsibility? I'm just asking.
The Minister of National Security, as he's looking into it now, right? He's going to look in to see what he can do to improve the system. They have realized there's some to say a lack of competence there, and they're going to look into it, whether it's the facility, the management. He's looking into it. So we're going to give him a couple of days, but then look into it.
Gary, and that's exactly what I'm saying, though. Here is the video. That's exactly what I'm saying, though. Hold on, let's look at this.
Everything need a overhaul there.
But all the experts,
Gary, hold on. This is the first guy walking here. Man walking down the street like normal, man.
Even the dog.
The dog knows he's a prisoner. Look, the dog trying to jump over the fence yet. Look, the next tree coming. You understand? They're taking it easy, man. Look, the next one coming back there. Right? Looking back, boy, nobody coming. Like you have a backpack too. Where's that one? Then I'm going like it's nothing, man. The dog knows something wrong, you know.
Yep.
Now, Gary, explain to me how. I hear fully what you're saying, Gary, and I agree with that. But let's don't care who the Minister of National Security is. How could the Minister of National Security be responsible for an incident like that happening?
Well, it's just like how you hire a coach for a football team, right? Or anything else, or a facility management manager. Now he's new on the job. I mean, a few months. So let's give him some time to look at what the issues are and see what he comes back with. But the Minister of National Security is hired to manage our law enforcement and all our agencies and make sure things are up to standard. He has to hold those charged with the job accountable, right? And being that I like what he said. I had to physically see it. Seen the report and physically see it. He wanted a better understanding, which all of that I have to give him credit for. I like what he did so far. As far as he has physically visited the place, he wants to see what the issues are, and he intends to address it. Now, let's see what measures they set in place now. The fact that he recognized what the issue is, and what the discrepancies are. So let's give him that for a few days. Let's see what he comes up with.
And you know what, Gary? I think that I think that makes sense because there's a commissioner of prisons, there's a commissioner of police, right? All those things have to be put in place, and if those things are being unsuccessful, right, the Minister of National Security now to call them guy on the carpet and make sure that this type of situation don't happen again.
Well, like I said, he's there. He's meeting with the administration so far. I saw the reporter mention the prison association. They had some views on the private contractors hired. So they I guess they were upset with the performance and competence of the contract security. So let's see what the investigation leads to, and a couple of days, and we'll see what they come up with. Let's see how he approaches to resolve the issue.
You're defending him, Gary. You're defending him.
No. I'm not defending him. I'm trying to be fair here. Like I said, it was George Young there for the past couple of years. I would have gone straight up to his truth. But he decided to
wait, Gary. So you're giving Fitzgerald a pass, but if it was Stuart Young, you would have go after him?
No, but listen to me. He's new on the job here right now. I mean, certain things should have already been looked into. We find ourselves being more reactive than proactive, right? It's just like the situation with the divers. Well, that never happened before in Trinidad and Tobago, according to Mr. Scherer. You know what I mean? That never happened before. So there's a lot of things, a lot of mitigation strategies we've been trying to put forward to the government of Trinidad and Tobago for a couple of years now. And, they're too busy jamming. Every time we try to have a conversation, they're busy jamming. So you can't get a word with them.
You're being somewhat inconsistent, though,
No, I'm not being consistent. The point I'm making is you see the man saying he have the experts, right? So I've given him a few days to meet with the experts. And
Giving who a few days to meet with the experts?
No, Fitzgerald, he gathered. You want to see what he comes forward with his plan of action. He met with the experts. Well, as far as I see now, the experts are no experts to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's better you have people there.
And you're going to meet and come out and insult. You like to insult people. Are we doing to him?
In all fairness, there's no way Fitzgerald Hines could have prevented that jailbreak.
Tommy, I agree with you.
No, he can't prevent it, but he can
I can never blame Fitzgerald Hines. I cannot.
As minister,
you can't blame somebody.
Listen to me. As minister, he can address where it is. If there's a lack of funding, if there's more money needed to deal with the issues, take it there for a minute.
Yeah, no, I understand. But let's take a quick listen to what some of the things he had to say. Let's take a quick listen.
Join President Paula May Weeks and the Chief of Defense Staff and the leaders of the commanding officers of the various formations of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force as we handed out very deservingly long service awards, medals to members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. And not just long service, but long and meritorious service. And right after that, I went off to the Parliament to respond to a couple of questions from the opposition in the Senate. And immediately thereafter, I made my way to this facility to join Commissioner Ramuta of the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service and Colonel Ned, the operations officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, and the other senior officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service. And we together had discussions about the events of the last 72 hours, I would say, beginning with the escape of an inmate who was taken because of his medical circumstances to the Mount Hope Sciences Complex for attention, the hospital. And he took the opportunity while there to make good his escape. And fortunately, he was recaptured on the very day. And while we were getting past that, because an escape from prison is quite a serious thing, the public of the country are expected to, it is reasonable for them to accept and expect that when the courts send persons here for custodial purposes, that they are kept safely from themselves, from others, and surely from creating further harm to the society. So a prison escape is quite a serious matter. And of course, as we were getting past that, news came in of the escape of the 5 inmates from here. I received a preliminary report which reflected, and I have just had an opportunity to tour the facility and to see the exact location that was used in this escape. And I've had discussions with the engineers of the prison service and the engineers of the Trinidad and Tobago Engineering Corps of the Defense Force and the administration of the prison service, and to contemplate things that must be done in order to ensure that we don't have a recurrence of this kind of situation, which is very, very troubling indeed. So we toured the facility, we looked at the locus of the escape, and we immediately put heads together, and the experts, the professionals, engineers, as I say, have worked out some immediate solutions to those particular problems, to harden the fort, harden the target even more so as to prevent further occurrences. So that was really the purpose of this visit. When I leave here, I propose to visit the Mount Hope Hospital to see with these eyes, because I received a written report from the prison respect of that issue. As a common sense human being, I wanted to get a wholesome picture. So I feel if I see, much like when a judge, and I'm not a judge, but I have been as a practicing lawyer to crime scenes with judges. So I understand the value of seeing. It really does bring the picture home a whole lot clearer than one's imagination or one's cognitive accumulation coming from a report or reports that one would have had. So for that reason, I'm going to pay attention to that location as well. So in the meantime, just to report to you that we are very mindful of the trauma and the concerns that prison breaks generate. And we are very regretful at it. It brought a pall of sadness upon me to learn that these men, particularly low-risk prisoners, they were not expecting that from the reports I've had. These are men who would have done fairly short sentences at the Carrera Island prison. And then they were brought here 4 days before this escape in order to benefit from training in auto body straightening and repairs to prepare them for productive re-entry into the society. And they made an opportunity to make good their escape. It really made me sad. And of course, alongside that sadness, I was quite proud and quite happy at the interagency response that came. Something that has been worked upon for many months past, even before I came to the ministry, involving the police, involving the defense force, involving, of course, and led by the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service in this context, and of course the intelligence agencies all working together. So as this thing happened, that plan went into effect, and you would have seen out there all elements of national security coming to bear. Unfortunately, within 48 hours, within 24 hours, I think, within 24 hours, we were able to recapture 4 of the escaped persons, and they are now safely back where you, the public, would want to see them. And of course, one is still at large, a certain Anthony Sipasad. And I am advised and verily believe that prompt and swift and ready action is on the way to try to bring him back into custody.
So there you have it. I think that was a good idea for him to have a press conference and to bring the people up to date on what's going on, and to say that you all hear to talk about the engineers from the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, right?
Right. But I want to know something. The trauma of that is greater than the trauma of the diverse situation.
Talk, Tommy.
Because I'm hearing that they were traumatized and all of that by the prisoner escape. No, there's no mention of the trauma on the families for the diver and their assistants.
That's a good point.
It's really sad. I mean, in the back of my head, the diver situation is just something that keeps replaying itself and saying to me that it's going to be a trauma on so many more people. The offsprings of the drivers, the wives, the mothers,
extended family,
siblings, and all.
Right. So Tommy, that's a great point, eh? But I want to add something, eh? You see, when I listen to the Minister of National Security say the Corps of Engineers from the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force went in and looked at the logistics and have immediately put something in place to try to prevent this from happening, right? So that means to say those engineers are people who could go and watch a building or watch a place and say, you know what, we need to do A, B, C, D, C. We need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that, right? And that means the army, right? So none of them prisoners ain't going to mess with them, right? Them going in the prison to take care of that, right? Correct? They're going inside, right? Why they can't go up through Makak and do the same thing with our abandoned building, whether they demolish it or not? Why they can't do the same thing? It's a Corps of Engineers.
That's not important. That's not important. That's not a priority. That's
and if the army going up there, them fellas go and mess. Since they say it only a one set of bandits up there. Them bandits go and mess with them army fellas and them.
Not
Think
important.
Only make it make sense now. It's easy, you know.
Not a priority.
The army has a Corps of Engineers that do those kind of work. And you know it's funny, eh? I get that from somebody inside the army. They say, Anselm boy, you serious? Them fellas ready. Them may want to do that. Them could go get the Corps. I didn't even know, you know, the Corps of Engineers. And I just hear the man say the same talk about the engineers. Them going in, right? Them going in there. And how to fix wherever it is, them fellas and them, wherever they get, wherever they use, or they jump over, wherever it is. And they gonna make it right.
Not a priority.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
They want to further traumatize those people in Trumaka.
Oh boy. Okay, all right.
Broken window theory.
Maybe they will all move on so that the right people who they want to have the place will have it.
Well, I hear you, Tommy. I hear you. Rose, good night. Pleasant good night to you. Fistic say elections have consequences. Rose said good night, Gary, Diana, Tommy. Lollipop say show what heartless leaders run in this country.
I have the biggest issue is with the inaction of the Prime Minister, Minister of Energy, Minister of National Security in the diverse situation. We have so much exports down there until we export out. You know what I mean? We have no export at all, no expertise. It's all reactive. No proactive plan of action, and that is my issue with our government. As much as you try to, try to put things in place, they're not interested.
Gary, all you fellas better, Gary, please stay in America. Please stay in your corner. Okay? You guys think you guys better than people living in Trinidad, and that's the problem with you guys.
Yeah, drink water, mind your business.
Yeah,
Drink water.
they're so educated. They're so there's so much export. They have export this and export that. They have so much export that they don't want to listen to we at all because they're so wrongly by export. When the time comes to respond effectively to an emergency situation, nothing happens.
Gary,
drink water, mind your business.
Eat jelly, take some bamboo, and mind your business, partner.
No. I'm gonna drink some punch and mind TNT business.
So here, Ali, welcome. You said so true, and Anji is a true. I don't know what happened to Anji though. Maybe she phone died. Anji is a true hero and a voice for the people. Yeah, we had that fella here who's the chairman too. He was pretty good too. Remember that guy, Gary?
Yeah, Henry Awong. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Awong. They all work together as a team.
Right. Jones says to get Sharon Phillips the 20,000. No, I will get a fist stick. Fist sticks are what you get the 20,000, man. Why you want me to get this?
We out here, we run away. Remember, we left.
But no, Diana, Diana. Somebody says money. That Wall Street, he always coming and talking, and he run away from this country. He run away from Trinidad and Tobago. Why you don't stay up there? Why you don't come back home? All you just do is stay up there and talk all the time. You run away from this country, right? Nobody can say, but let me call Wall Street to find out what was the circumstances why you left Trinidad and Tobago, But Trinidadians, plenty of them born in the Noah's Ark, Them born in the Noah's Ark, They know everything. Want you run away from this country, right? Oh God. Yeah, boy, I run away. You ain't lying in truth, but I really run away in truth, boy. Hey, boy, look at this. Somebody just said it. What is about this? What is about this that people are upset about? I'm trying to get this, right? Diana, Tommy, and Gary. What is this that people are upset about? The guy holding an umbrella over Fitzgerald Lines. No, all you tell me now, help me. What? Some people say, Master, they done.
Was it raining?
Huh? No, the sun. You're shutting from the sun.
You're shutting from the sun?
Yeah.
Why can't hold you on umbrella?
No, you can't hold you on umbrella and talk. But what's the problem you see, Diana? Tommy guy, what's the problem you see?
We just concerned about things that make sense and things that don't make sense. That's why we engage in the business of truth to power.
But Tommy, do you have a problem with this?
No.
No, what I'm trying to see what the problem is. You know what it is? If I'm a minister, I have a driver, right? Maybe the driver not supposed to be driving me. Maybe I'm supposed to drive my own car and not have a driver. I am trying to understand. Only help me now, man. Tell me what seems to be the problem, right? But not only that, hear what they do now, That's why Jones say Hines did not have an umbrella, man, right? That's why I put that one up. So listen to this now. So here what they do, We in Trinidad, we real good enough. So they added something to that one, right? They have that one. Let me remove that one. And This is the next one they come up with. They came up with this one. We Trinidad, they're easy best, we are the best. Look, this one they come up with. No, not that one. All right, let me remove that one. Let me remove this one. The other one. There's another one. Okay, let me see this one, that one. Is that it? Or did I put up the wrong one? Hold on.
I'm concerned about these suicide, these people committing suicide now, man.
Umbrella. Umbrella. Okay, I'm trying to get this other one here, but it's not coming up. That's that one there.
You don't know where you put it?
No, I had it here. Oh, that's the same one. Okay, I made a mistake then. I put up the same one twice.
Did you hear that? They're thinking that they're saying that people over 65 have to get a 4th booster shot.
Please.
Huh?
Please. Over 65?
Over 65, yeah.
Are you getting it?
I am not over 65, so I don't even have to think about it.
Oh, okay.
You gotta get a 4th booster shot.
Is it in this country or where?
Yeah, in this country. That's what my man Fauci said.
Fauci said.
Yep. 4th booster shot in your tail.
And people are actually gonna get it? Well, yeah. Some people are gonna get it. Some people are gonna get it.
Yeah, 4th booster shot in your tail, boy.
You get your 4th booster yet?
Negative.
Did you get your first booster?
Negative.
Okay, all right. Yeah. You know, it's funny, right? Well, it's not funny, right? My sister-in-law husband took a booster, and I'm not saying it's the booster that caused it, but he ended up in the hospital next day.
Oh Lord!
And he was never. He was always a healthy guy, and you know, he never had any problems, but you know, it just happened.
There you go.
Careful what you say on the air.
Yeah. It's something that just happened. But I think you know, even at our school now, you don't have to wear a mask anymore.
Yeah, here in Connecticut too.
Yeah, even indoors.
I still wear mine because they're expecting a spike.
But I think we have passed the worst of the worst. You know, they say there's a breakout in China. You know?
Yeah, they're saying there's a spike coming.
Spike Lee?
Oh.
There's a spike coming, yeah.
All right. So Ulrich, good night. Something is wrong with that file. Ulrich, good night. Vonnie wants to know, do you think Rambert went down too far into his investigation? It had to be with PM when he was Minister of Agriculture. Just wondering why he was fired. I don't know, boy. I don't know, boy. I don't know. I think it had something to do with it.
With what?
The video that he made. You know, we have it. Did you see the video that he was on I-95.5?
No. What was the video?
Okay, let me get it.
Remember, I'm doing my thing in school, so
he was talking about things going on, and there was some corruption that he thought was happening. Yeah, let me get that for you.
You mean Rambarat?
Yeah.
With the lamb thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just play part of that. That was he made an appearance on I-95.5, and some people are saying that maybe, just maybe, it might have something to do with why he resigned or why he was fired, so to speak. Because sometimes when you resign, you don't actually resign. You know what I mean? Sometimes you resign not truly resigning. Let me get this up here. And was Rembrandt a good guy as far as Minister of Agriculture is concerned? I really don't know. Tommy,
And
you know anything about him?
now we're seeing all the, that's just the the head. That's just the tip of the thing. Everything is going to be exposed. It's going to come to a head.
Hold on, man.
A bank was dealing with, and I was surprised. And this is a matter involving land in Wallerfield. And the person produced to the bank what looks to be very legitimate land title documents, showing that the property is in this particular individual's name. And this particular individual, by the way, happens to be a medical doctor. And were it not for the I would say the honesty of persons involved, nobody would have known about it. But it was reported to me, and when I got the documents, I immediately acted on it. When I saw that this was a fraud perpetrated by a major banking institution in support of a $6 million mortgage, which was about to be granted, I acted. And lo and behold, I was reading the newspaper one day, and this person, by the way, this medical doctor, is writing me all the time, asking me to complete the transaction. The person went so far as to provide proof that they have some sort of affiliation to the political party that I'm part of. And the person got people to lobby me. And I'm reading the newspaper one day, and I see a Privy Council decision involving the same person relating to an act of fraud relating to land committed against their legal secretary in the office. Their secretary, sorry, not legal secretary. It involved a medical doctor and a lawyer. And I immediately wrote to the medical board. I immediately brought it to their attention, and I said to the medical board, apart from my matter, which is at the police service, and I accept that you can't take action on a report that I have made, but here is a parallel matter where the Privy Council has made findings against the person. And I must say that I was surprised. The medical board responded, and they said to me they will await the outcome of the police investigation in my matter. So this is not squatter lords and slum lords, and this is not the average Joe. This is from top to bottom in the society, and this involve officials. We have a file in the police service where I am saying to the commissioner of police that a permanent secretary in the ministry worked with a senior person in state lands to grant to 5 relatives of the permanent secretary state land. It involves 7 lots of land with a value of at least $5 million. That is a file I'm not talking about daily paid. I have matters involving, I'm talking about a minister having to write to the commissioner of police and to the prime minister saying that I have evidence, and here it is, that a permanent secretary, the person responsible for the administration of a ministry, worked with the most senior person responsible for state lands. And the end result is that 5 relatives of the permanent secretary have documents in their name relating to state land. 5 of them. The other 2, I have them by name. I have not been able to trace who they are. And this is entirely my work as minister. I have
You hear for yourself? You think it's easy? That could be one of the reasons why. I mean, I don't know.
You remember the young man that came to us with the problem in Chaguanas or Caroni with the pump, the gas line passing through? Perhaps he was having that problem. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You see? Okay.
You know, but we need guys like him, honest guys like him, in the government.
Yep.
And when he sees something, he says something. You know, so always tell you that. See something, say something.
Yep. Yep.
But like in Trinidad, when you see something, hush your mouth. When you see something, boy, go in your corner and cool it, eh?
Drink water and mind your business.
Yeah. Drink water, take some babu and mind your business, boy. Yeah.
In England, we say when you see something, say something, we'll sort it.
Yeah, when you see something.
That's their motto.
I heard a private transport company getting millions of dollars to transport prisoners to the 300 feet. Oh, is that one day, right?
Anyway, yeah, we had to be careful about to see something, because what about Andrea Barrett?
Yep.
Yeah. Funny wasn't, is Hines the leader of the PNM youth group? I don't know, you know. I really don't know in truth. Well, Joan, I want to agree with you. Full 100. Manning never recognized Hines. Smart Manning. Manning, Mr. Mervyn Augustus Patrick Manning, or Patrick Mervyn Augustus Manning, never made Fitzgerald Hines a minister in all the years he was in Manning's cabinet. Never made him a minister. So that fella, Patrick Manning, Patrick Manning knew a lot. A whole lot. A whole lot. A whole lot. A whole lot. Capiza says what? Give Hines a .1. What's a .1?
Every day, something new. So I studying these 2 young people that killed themselves. How many more now? That's going to be a trend.
Yeah, so Albert Montano is saying this is not the first time prisoners break out of Golden Grove prison. This happened about 5 times and we heard the same excuses. Really? Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I know what I'm telling her. Albert Montano said the next time there's a major disaster in Sweet TNT, the story will be the first time. So folks, it's in the village with the DAG Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. We're going to go for a quick station identification. Stick and stay, don't go nowhere. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets at WZYE 95.9 FM.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
too much corruption, too much brutality. This situation should be taken seriously. Every day somebody taking a human life. They play games, you don't know when the criminals inside. Too much murder and robbery, and it's served by the police. Ain't no way to hide, ain't no way to run. How can we survive? The just keep going on. They're using guns and knives, they're looking for a fight. You either do or die, protect your human rights. Oh, what a problem. Too much buildings on fire, leaving people with no homes. Crime rate getting higher, you can't walk the streets alone. It's such a shame how they broken one another. I just protest that's the latest thing they after. Raping young and old women. And when they come, they brutalize them. Ain't no way to hide, ain't no way to run. How can we survive if things keep going on? Things and guns and knives, they're looking for a fight. You either do or die, protect your human rights.
Too much corruption, boy. Too much corruption. Too much. We're back with you. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course. Of course. Of course. So, Albert Montano said the next time there's a major disaster in Sweet Trinidad, the story will be the first time. Bonnie Roberts says, listening to Hines, you go feel like he's on top of every situation. The fella is a good orator, man.
He's a good one.
Very good orator. Very, very good. He's excellent. He should be Minister of Communication. He should be. Sharon Bernard, good night. Good night. Albert Montano says PNM don't care about Schumacher. Guaranteed vote. 100% sure. Lavanto. But that's changing, man. Vonnie wants to know, Fish Sticks, don't you think that the best person Wall Street to get is Twiggy, who can speak about Lavanto? You know who can speak about Lavanto? Ghost. Ghost from Lavanto. Ghost from around Lavanto area. Ghost with Ghost and Heavy. Vonnie Roberts said Twiggy is the president of Lavanto. Albert, Vonnie Roberts said this too. All Dr. Keith know, next time he in New York, his very good friend will get another tour of the Big Apple. Albert, anyhow, I think Albert talking about somebody else. Oh, wow. Joan said he's slave holding the umbrella.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's the
No,
sun is
no,
good for
no.
COVID. Oh, wow.
Well, it look that way ain't true, though.
It look that way?
Yeah.
Joan says, Wall Street, you have more important issues to talk about. Troy Smith says, Anselm, a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. Sweat for your money, Hines. Okay. Blacks is fully vaccinated, and right now he's hospitalized, positive with COVID-19.
Oh, Lord. They're expecting a worldwide spike with this new subvariant. Lord, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Vonnie, Fistick say, Vonnie, I don't know, boy. Twiggy just change where Hangout is concerned.
What?
Twiggy just change where Hangout is concerned. I mean, yeah. Oh, Fistick say Rambarat, look for that. Rowdy sweeten him up thinking he was same face for the PNM. Now they split him out. Capiza says don't get tired. Huh?
I feel sad, that the way these families were treated, Nobody
Yeah.
talk, nobody meet with them.
Yeah, Alderman Montana said, "Some drink water and mind your business." We truly could pick up lyrics quick, And Slim, Arima Kotos corrupt, connect the dots. Albert Montano says 2 young men at different places hang themselves this weekend.
See?
Social strain. Capiza says social strain.
Yeah, so there's a lot of suicides happening.
He said one in Pinto Road, Arima.
Yeah, I remember that. And then this married couple.
Well, these are the this is captured was Corinne Douglas. That's one of the first guys who got captured. Then we have another guy. He was recaptured. And we had this guy, Shaquille Drayton. He was captured. Then we have police did a good job though. They recaptured him quickly, but they weren't really. I mean, they weren't violent prisoners, so to speak.
But how they find them so fast?
But that was telling you, man. We see me congratulate them on finding them so quick, man. That was a fantabulous job, man.
Find them
Gary
quick,
Griffin got something to say about that.
Find them real fast, boy.
Yeah. We gotta congratulate them for that, right? I find so. Because we just beat up on them when they do the good work, and then it's the last person that was captured. So 4 of them got recaptured.
Find them fast.
Yeah. That was pretty good, man.
How come they can't find the violent ones?
No, the ones who do other things are
Yeah,
not in jail.
real. But why they break out and they're not violent? They know that they were going to go get trained. I don't know.
They went following something, and they went to hang out for a little bit. So,
but they were going to get trained. Anyway, I don't know.
Big controversy in the UNC, boy.
So
UNC women's arms barrack trying to justify abuse of women. Big controversy. Gary there?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Gary,
Yeah.
Vasan Barat, UNC woman Barat trying to justify abuse of women. Someone read it for me, Guardian.
I didn't have a chance to really catch up on the article, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, it says the UNC woman's says that Vasan Barat is trying to justify the verbal and physical attack on UNC women by a group of abusive men. In a press release issued this afternoon, the woman's arm stated that Mr. Barrett frequently uses obscene language and verbally abuses persons who disagree with him on his social media page. We have always ignored him, but in this instance, we cannot ignore the events of these abusers. Vasan Barrett discuss people on his social media page?
I don't know. I really don't follow it. You see, I am more focused on the improving of our emergency response capabilities, and I'm not really so much into the political riffraff of internal politics. I am really focused on getting our emergency response resources and training and things. These are the discussion I really want to have on whosoever the government of Trinidad and Tobago is, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to understand how necessary to put certain things in place for their own safety and security. These are the things I am focused on. Who want to wine and jam, they can go ahead.
So, Rajvi, welcome. So, Rajvi just bring up something there. I have something about that. I don't know how true it is, but Rajvi, I kind of just wait to hear what comes up in the chat to see before I make any statement. But I want to read something. Let me see where I get it here on my phone. Okay, what I do with it? What did I do with it? I thought I had it here on my phone, but it disappeared. Rajvi say, who beat Eugene Julian? Welcome. Who beat Khadija Amin? I guess she filed a report. Nah, I don't think. Rajvi, what is that story? I saw something with Khadija Amin. Some type of report or something. And I thought I'd make a copy of it, but let me see if I can find it. Hold on, let me see here. Here we go.
Or somebody bonked Khadija Amin bonked somebody.
Oh, that's just recently?
Yeah, so they say she bonked some. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's never a dull moment. Never a dull moment in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, I don't know where that thing went. I had it there somewhere. Okay, I don't know where that went. I hope it's not. He said he hope it's not she husband. Raj, where you get that from?
There was some march somewhere. Apparently the girl said she bonked her aggressively. I probably would have bonked she too. Shit.
What? Bonked you? What is that one, Dana?
Bonked you with my shoulder now. You're marching, you know, people get bonked, people's shoulders don't touch.
All right. I don't understand that one.
Lady, but so she's gonna press charges that she assaulted her. Oh God, no. If I bonk you, you're gonna really know you get bonks.
So
because you're gonna be going to the other side of the road.
So we see Ananram Logan sent a letter to Paria. That's part of the letter that we read previously. Right. So it says Christopher Budram, the lone survivor of the Paria diving strategy that claimed the lives of 4 colleagues, is now asking Paria Fuel Trading to pay for his medical expenses, but with a medical team of his choosing. The request was made via a legal letter sent to Paria Chief Executive Officers today through Freedom Law Chambers owned by former Attorney General Ananram Logan, in which Attorney Che Dindial that they represent the interests of Christopher Budram and Vanessa Kusi, the widow of Rishi Nagasa, one of the 4 divers who died in the February 25th tragedy. In a letter, they also made 2 other requests for Paria to pay an international independent experts to probe the incident and also to disclose under the Freedom of Information Act documents and other articles relating to the tragedy. Stating that Budram shared an extremely close brotherhood bond with his 4 deceased colleagues, he said Budram and Nagasa continue to be dismayed, shocked, and disappointed over Paria's conduct through the terrifying ordeal and in the aftermath. There you have it. Ananram Logan is on the case.
Good.
Yeah. So.
But is any compensation going to be adequate enough for all that, trauma that those poor people suffered? And you hear the little boy say, he washing his hand. Are you going to come home now, Daddy?
Yeah. Well, you all may not know of this, but PNM leadership under watch, I'm trying to get this guy, Toko Grandi election officer says discontent on the ground. So there are people who are actually discontented with Prime Minister Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Let me read that article.
Read that again. Come back to that. Yeah.
PNM leadership under watch. Toko Grande election officer discontent. It's an article in The Guardian. It says, election officer of the Toko Sandy Grande constituency, Executive John Mason, is calling on Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley to step aside as political leader of the People's National Movement in the upcoming internal election.
There we go.
Mason's call came hours after the PM announced a reshuffle in his cabinet, removing Faris Harari as Attorney General. Rowley shifted Harari to the Ministry of Local Government, Penelope Beckers to the Planning Ministry, Camille Robinson Regis to Housing, and Kazem Hossain to Agriculture, while Clarence Rambert resigned from the Ministry of Agriculture. According to Mason, we're supposed to be on the pulse of what's happening with supporters, keeping them informed and rallying the troops on the ground to vote in the Toko Sandy Grande constituency. The feedback has been worrying. He said his job was to give the information gathered on the ground to the party. Mason, who has been with the party for 18 years, was one who led the call for the party to revoke Mervyn Dillon's candidacy for the Toko Sandy Grande seat in 2020 after constituents claimed he was unfit. He was replaced by Roger Monroe. Mason
So
said,
this is what we're looking for, and some people who have the testicular fortitude to take a stand on the ground, just like how you did.
Yeah.
This is what we're looking for, regardless of party. You see something going wrong, you disagree with it, take a stand.
Mason said for the past 3 years, the PM has been making some bad moves. Mason's noted Rowley's recent admission that he was the official who met with former Police Service Commission Chairman Blessy Prasad, giving her information that ultimately led the Police Commissioner Meritless being pulled. Jumping to the defense of the TNT Coast Guard involving the killing of a 1-year-old Venezuelan baby before an investigation has been concluded, repeated statements that offended women, among other issues, the handling of the death of 4 LMCS divers at state-owned Paria Fuel Trading Company has also not put the party in a favorable light, he said. As chairman of Party Group 6 in Northeastern Settlement Sandy Grande, Mason said some constituents and onlookers are losing confidence in the party and have been expressing disappointment about the direction of the party has been heading party members. He said, I've been speaking in hushed tones. Okay, this is what the Guardian wrote. He said those voices started to ascend on March 6th at the party's last General Council meeting as Cascadia, when Rowley offered himself as a candidate for the post of PNM political leader in the party's internal election due later this year. After winning the 2020 general election, Rowley had alluded that it could be his last term in office. This can easily be my last term in politics. In Trinidad and Tobago, quote, I am one of those politicians who believe that even when you come into office, you should go out feet first. I have places to go and people to see, but more importantly, I have a commitment to ensure that this is a period of transition in the PNM. And there you have it. So we have the first person, well, another person who is within the bowels of the PNM, who is somewhat disenchanted with what he's seeing. You know what I mean? I don't think you guys are going to hear that on any other radio station in Trinidad and Tobago. Tommy, you still there?
President, sir.
Yeah, Tommy. What do you think, Tommy?
Well, whatever the darkness must come in the light. Time longer than twine.
Maybe he gonna get buff soon.
Yeah, it's just interesting, you know what I mean?
He gonna get buff soon, though. You notice anybody that goes against him gets buffed.
Well, I don't know, The politics in Trinidad is just, it is, I don't know.
And
But
is, is it
I don't even up on that point. Go ahead, Diana. Diana, go ahead.
is it true? Is it true that Watson Duke is expanding to Trinidad?
But we know that for a long time. That's old news.
I
But
just want to
Diana,
know.
but Diana, you pick the words out of my mouth, though. Eh?
Is it? I just want to know.
Because think about this, right?
Mm.
When there was the election in Tobago, right? People were for Duke to be the PNM, right?
Mm.
And he chunked them. He annihilated them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now he wants to come to Trinidad. Some of them same people saying, you know, he shouldn't come to Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So,
but it's possible them two seats in Tobago will go to him, go to PDP.
yeah, but you see, you ask for something, and when you get it, and you get an extension of what you asked for, you don't want it.
You don't want it. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because think about it.
Tell him Duke bat in the crease, that's all.
Don't come past
What do you mean
Caroni and all
increase
kinds.
that, Barry?
Stay in Tobago.
Don't come past Caroni and all kind of stupid.
But you see, that's part of the problem is that if you understand Watson Duke, kind of half understand him, you know for a fact that guy have his eyes.
He coming.
Yeah, no, he have his eyes on being the prime minister.
Yep.
He have his eyes on being the prime minister. So you know for a fact when they won in Tobago, he was looking at the bigger picture and he didn't mind that Fali Chavez Augustine was, the chief secretary of Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And he doesn't even mind. He doesn't even mind if he's the deputy, as long as PNM in there to change the landscape of the country, because they're tired. They're really tired of what's going on.
He's losing to win.
Yeah.
Who's losing to win?
Watson Duke basically give up something to win.
Yeah.
For a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Correct, because if he's chief, he can't run. Well, he got to give it up to go and run in an election, to go run in a general election.
Right?
He's
smart.
Yeah.
He's astute.
Yeah.
People underestimate him.
Well, let me tell you something. Whether it's Watson Duke or Tom, Dick, and Harry, we want certain things done. We want certain collaboration from them. And there is no if or buts about it. You know what I mean?
But Gary, you think they are different? You think they are different, or all of them? You think all of them are different?
Listen to me. You're giving them the benefit of the doubt, but let me tell you something. That system is so enrooted. Even if Watson Duke becomes prime minister, he has a lot of holes, a lot of twine and roots to cut up, and he needs some Clorox.
I think he won't allow the nonsense to go on. You see, they already don't like him because he's a nonsensical fella. He don't stand for he kind of like me. He don't stand for no foolishness. People don't like me. A lot of people don't like me, because I'm very direct and brusque, and I just say what I got to say. And you're doing foolishness, I'm gonna tell you you're doing foolishness, and people don't like me for that. And that is why they don't like Watson Duke, because he's very direct. You understand? He'll tell you, hey, we're not going so. And they don't like that. In a leader, they want you to smooth you and lick bottom and and they don't like that in a leader. So that is why he's not liked. He's very direct. We don't like that. And he's gonna root out a lot of the foolishness.
You see, we have to understand the system was never broken, The system was built that way.
It was built that way from him, but he will have to. We need something different because the nonsense going on now, and what I hearing from the other side.
But Diana,
Drain the swamp.
Uh,
Donald Trump was going to drain the swamp, and he was going to do this.
yeah. Make America great again.
No, but he was going to drain the swamp and limit the corruption. Dredge the river and raise the bridge and everything.
Drain my swamp. He's the swamp.
He's the biggest alligator in the swamp.
Yeah, he's the damn swamp. If he had come president again, I was going to shift my ass and go to Barbados for a little while. Yeah? I wasn't going to buy here. I would have been in Barbados under Mia Motley. I wasn't going to be here. I was going to build my house in Barbados.
But Diana, if you say that the people are looking for something different, right? And they don't want the PNM, no, do they want the UNC? Right? The UNC people will be upset with you, and the PNM people will be upset with you. I'm just telling you.
It right? Is what it is. It is what it is.
So Capiza wants me to...
like I said, I is the Bajan, and I telling them like it is. If they want to see a different Trinidad and something progressive, then they need
the Bajan if you're representing Trinidad issues.
They need hello. I born in Trinidad. I could say what I want.
Trinidad, right? Leave the Bajan outside there, right there.
I born in Trinidad. I could say what I want.
But Diana, I think, let me just read. Capiza says, and some flex your PNM musters. I need some drainage, even Caroni. What can you do for me? Capiza, boy? Sorry, your partner. Unfortunately, Capiza, partner, I really can't help you, Seriously.
I trying to put it there to get Trinidad back to where it at the top of the Caribbean, competitive wise. Instead of this, the way Trinidad is right now. Nobody wants to invest or everybody pulling out. You're frightened. Look, when I don't even want to go there for a vacation, I'm frightened to go there.
You need 3 months appointment to open my bank account now.
I don't even want that. I don't want to go there frightened. I don't want to have friends. Diana will be going for vacation after we're not going Trinidad. I will take them to Tobago, and these are white friends of mine. American friends, Black American. I don't want to take them to Trinidad. I want the people to be safe. I want to bring them back to America safe. I'm frightened to take them to Trinidad.
No, I'm frightened to take them to Trinidad.
I taking them to Tobago or taking them Barbados. I'm not lying.
No. I'll take them up in Chumaka. Yeah, and I will raise a point about that. But listen to this, The political ear is saying that a lot of people are disenchanted with Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, PNM people.
Yeah.
Right? And there are people who are disenchanted with Mrs. Kamala Prasad. Right? So a lot of people, PNM people, disenchanted with Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and some UNC people that I know is disenchanted with Mrs. Kamala Prasad.
That's why they said Rowley must go.
Right. There may be other people, there may be other people in the party who are okay in both sides, but the leadership is where a lot of people are disenchanted with.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, that's speaking truth to power.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truth. So a lot of people will just rather sit on the sidelines and not vote, right? But let me get back to a point, right? So as I was saying, Gary, I was on the underground report this morning, right? And they brought this up.
Are you calling?
Yeah, I'm calling. Andy Williams gave me a good time. Andy Williams and Lennox Smith, the Pompey of radio, and Wood Smith.
Bring them in here now, man. Bring them in
here. Yeah, but you don't understand Lennox Smith. You gotta use plenty big words, You gotta bring your thesaurus to and Lennox Smith. Lennox Smith is Ruth Smith, you know. Them big
Rajvi,
Oh, we had him
well,
here.
Rajvi, I
Yeah.
know a lot of places in Trinidad safer than USA, but when you're in your home and people just walking, coming inside your damn place like that every day, so,
No, but
come
then it
on.
have places like that in the US too.
Yeah, I know.
But
That's
he's
why
right. He's
I
right.
know that.
But he's right.
But when you go to Trinidad, you stand out and they're targeting you. They're targeting you. My white friends would they will see, look at them and say, "Yeah, let
But
me follow them."
there's
They'll
targeting
target
in
you.
America too.
Come on,
The mother there's targeting in America too. But
they'll
anyway,
target you in Trinidad and want to snatch your thing on you. I don't know. I good.
but listen to this. Them guys and them have a pushback movement, right? And Diana, this is because it wasn't here. They have a push. I tell them, I say, listen, only need to push back in all 41 constituencies. And I say, why you all don't do a pushback movement in Laventille? They say, Wall Street. You want we go up there? You want we go up there?
Oh boy.
You serious?
But look for the Roberts in the chat. For the Roberts, am I lying? Yeah, And Lennox Smith and them say Lennox Smith is a fella who said that one of the reasons for the high crimes in Laventille is because they was drink punching. And he had a party, I think, called Laventille for Laventillians. And them fellas are saying the reason why people don't want to go up there is because of the problems that have up there. And you have a pushback movement that's supposed to be of a country, and you're not trying to change that. If you have a pushback movement, go and hire security guards, go and hire police, and all go up there and all push back up there too. That is a PNM constituency.
Yeah.
But that is about country. So all them fellas are pushing back. And you tell me, well, there was them in Savannah.
Wait now. So where Lennox Smith and Andy Williams from?
I don't know. I think Lennox Smith from Laventille.
And he free to go up there.
Capisa, I just bring all kind of people with me when I come into Trinidad and Tobago. But with the spate of crime now, I have to be concerned for my friends and myself. I'm not gonna lie. You want me to say I have to walk and look behind my back and in front of me?
Diana, let me know when you want to chat, please.
Yeah, Diana. I wouldn't say I wouldn't bring my white friend to Trinidad either.
I'm not going. Come on. I will bring them, but I have to look left, right, and center. You can't just walk and drive freely. You have to be careful. You have to walk careful. You have to look left, right, and center.
But you should have just say friends.
But
all kind of friends I have,
people,
black and white.
No, but you should have just say
people,
friends.
nobody's safe.
Nobody is safe. I have black and white friends.
No, but you should have just say friends though.
Well, I have black and white friends.
No, I understand that, but I think you should have just say friends.
Well, I'm not ashamed. I have black, white, Chinese, all kind of friends. I have black because of the road I walk. I have black and white friends. Well, a lot of white friends, they want to come to see where I come from.
Yeah, but Diana, the only thing they're going to know about is if you tell them about it.
Yeah, they want to come see where I come from.
But they're not going to know anything about the crime situation. It's not like
take them to Augustine and make fast.
Yeah, but it's not like when you go to you taking them up to the what they call the hotspot areas.
They want to come.
They
want to come see.
They go and stay in Goodwood Park or they stay in Marvel or something.
No, I just take them to Tobago. And I will bring them Trinidad for a day or two.
Yeah. And then Andy Williams and Lennox Smith says, well, America have Laventille as a hotspot. Imagine that. These fellas having a pushback movement. And then on national radio. And them talking about America have Laventille as a hotspot. And you want them to go up there. And America have them as a hotspot.
But when you go on the website, they're telling you, well, stay away from.
But we need to put certain parts of Brooklyn and Bronx as hotspot and we list for Trinidadians.
Yeah. When you go on your Google Trinidad, it's certain places that tell you don't go. Yeah, just tell you don't go.
Yeah.
I say, whoa.
But if you have a movement in Trinidad and you're using right? The most vulnerable society, and using what America says and telling yourself and people on national radio that you're not going up there because America says a hotspot and America don't want people to go there. You're not trying to do things to improve there. You just leaving there just so.
So America telling you in Trinidad, who born in Trinidad, what you should do in your own country.
Correct. That's
Not
a
this,
hotspot.
not this Indian.
Nobody.
They can't tell us Indian.
Nobody. And that man had his views on national radio, right? And watch.
Who said that? Andy or Lennox?
Well, it was the underground report. I don't remember who said it. But listen to this. Who just said, boy? Nah, I don't remember who said. But listen to this, right?
We have to call them in here for a discussion.
And when I finish I give my thing, and I go on me, I didn't listen to the rest of the program. I'm being honest with you, I didn't listen. So I find that I was taken aback that you have a movement in Trinidad and Tobago, and you are selective in where you go. And you're not, it's not like it's a secret, you know. You came out on national radio and tell people that. Or they're not serious about country. Or they never tell me they're serious about country.
Not being inclusive, right?
Of course.
You want you want to win an election on the which constituency you want to win the election, or how many constituencies you want to win an election?
I'm eliminating constituencies. I'm having a movement talking about pushback for country, and you telling people we ain't going up there. We not going there. You telling people that.
And you from up
look, all you not serious, all you ain't serious, right? All you thinking about all your pocket. That's what it is.
But if we dissolve the criminal activity in Laventille, TNT safe. If we dissolve, change the attitude and the thinking of the people up there who committing the crime between the Beatam and Laventille, Movanda, whatever it is, the country safe.
Gary, get real. You telling me the only place that there's crime in Trinidad is in Laventille?
I'm not saying the only place. I say they are marked for the most dangerous criminals in the most dangerous areas. So I'm saying
Gary, I don't know about dangerous criminals, you know. I don't know about that.
It is considered the hotspot.
Yeah, right? But I don't know about dangerous criminals. I don't know about that.
Perception are two different things, you know.
Well, listen to me. This is government information, right? That is public.
What are criminals? Criminals.
They're saying that these areas are the hotspot. These are every time you have an issue, it's mostly people from these areas. So I'm saying if that area is a problem, work towards resolving the problem.
Gary, that's not true.
How is it not true?
No, that's not true.
It's documented. It's you just ask for statistics. It's all over the place. How you can say it's not true? Every time.
So listen to this, right, Gary? This is what the definition of a criminal is: a person who has committed a crime, right? So there's crimes all across the country. There's criminals all across the country.
Yeah, but first of all, there are crimes all across the country, right? But certain areas are labeled a hotspot. When committed across the country is a lot of people coming from a certain particular area.
When you Google, there's telling certain places to avoid.
All the way down in the south to commit a crime. You have people even in the north and going all the way in central to commit a crime.
Gary, I would like to see the numbers. And Ulrich, I agree with you. Ulrich said the hotspots are in Parliament in jacket and tie. Correct is right. Correct is right, Ulrich. Full 100. Dennis hotspot.
Well, I don't know. I think Ulrich kitchen looked like a hotspot the other day, so I don't know.
Yeah? But you see,
the kitchen there the other day with all that food.
You see, Ulrich says right now we in Trinidad between a rock and a hard place. We want to get rid of both of them, but who will we put?
Yeah.
You gotta step up soon.
You see, but you see, that's why when we come in the village,
Ulrich become the forerunner for whoever you want to bring inside there.
But Gary, That's why when we come into the village, we just see a wide variety of issues. Our issues are not narrow where you could think us, you have to think a certain way. You are allowed to have a varied opinion. That's how we learn
Everybody
from each
entitled to their
other.
opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And if he
Correct is
made a
right.
suggestion, So what I am encouraging Oric to do is to be the forerunner on the ground there.
You mean for
Be
them
the
to run
forerunner on the
already?
ground for the change.
For
Be the
them to
forerunner
run
on the
in?
ground for the change.
Hmm.
You're a well-recognized person in your neighborhood. Be the forerunner for the change. This is why I'm encouraging people across the country.
Okay, so hear what Eugene Julian says. Thank you very much, Eugene. Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. are hotspots in the
hotspot.
United States of America.
True.
Take that in your person.
And tell we people not to go there.
Eugene Julian, thank you so much.
True.
Go to the other class.
And Washington D.C. is
Detroit,
Washington D.C. is the nation's capital. Washington D.C. is the nation's capital.
there we go.
True.
Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. Hey,
Not
Eugene,
no
make sure you Google
hotspot.
that
They're
one.
steaming spots.
I drove down to DC back in the 90s. I think it was about 94
And the Bronx.
right? And I ended up on was New York Avenue across intersecting with Florida Avenue down there. And it was real. I mean, you saw people there. You really was had to be cautious of how you're moving about. You had to be really cautious. It was worse than Newark.
Don't go there. Go to New York. Newark is.
And that was the capital city. That was the capital city.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that, so I was warned to be careful when I head down there.
Yeah.
I was in a bad area. I didn't know. I pull over by the Wendy's on the intersection there.
Every country has its hotspots.
Okay,
Every
right. So
state.
anyway, back on track to dealing with Trinidad, right? If I am saying that if an area is a problem, what are we doing to resolve the issues? We can't avoid the issues. We have to confront the issues.
But Gary, you see, you raising a good point there. If you have a pushback movement in Trinidad and Tobago, and there are certain issues affecting people in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to deal with those issues of a pushback movement.
Well, the pushback movement have to define what it is really about. It really has to have a they have to have some kind of a plan of action.
Their plan of action is a party plan of action.
That focus.
Right? If I say, let me focus on all 41 constituencies. Is not 41 constituencies make up Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, if it is not inclusive of 41 constituency, then it's not country.
But Gary, the man don't tell we already they ain't going up live until he tell me on national radio that
I think Ulrich
gone.
should invite them. I think Ulrich should invite them and show them the front.
Go up at security, we go bring the army engineers up there all year for to go up there.
No, man,
to come back.
Just cook up some of them food he cooked the other day there and invite them fellas and they go reach.
Yeah. But that's part of the problem. I see that's part of the problem right away. So they invalidate your pushback movement. Or it not invalidates it, but it shows that you are very biased. Your pushback movement is a biased pushback movement. Right?
What are you pushing back about is the other thing. What are you pushing back about?
Party is about party.
You're just pushing back the government for what reason? What purpose?
Well, no, we pushing back. We pushing. We want Dr. Roy to call an early election, so we pushing back. We want improvement in the country right now.
And then what? Yeah, that was it. And then what? Okay, so
we just want a new election call. We don't care about that.
And then what?
We will deal with that when it comes.
Albert says Maracas Village is a difficult place. Tunapuna North of the Eastern Main Road is now a hot area. Maloney, certain parts of Curep, Cantaro Village, Santa Cruz, Diego Martin, that is just a few.
Thank you very much.
But let me tell you something. Central didn't become an unsafe place until people from the north relocated there, no answer. That's hard facts, All these areas I call like 500. I think you couldn't even you can't even hang your clothes on the line. They're taking your clothes in your face.
I don't know about that, you know. I don't know about that.
You know, but I'm just telling you.
No.
Ask a lot of people. A lot of you could have walked about in those areas, right, with no issue any hour of the night.
But Gary, you could have walked about any part of Laventille at any time of the night.
Maybe that was 50 years ago. I'm just telling you.
No, that wasn't 50 years ago.
But I'm just telling you, a lot of the issues that we have in Central and different parts of Trinidad is people who came from other areas. It's not the original people from the area.
No, Gary, that's not true, Gary.
Answer.
That's not true.
That is, check
Gary,
the police record.
Bring me facts to prove that up. Gary, to me, part of the problem in many of these constituencies is drugs.
And economic hardships.
Economic hardship and drugs in the constituencies.
But beside the drugs, I'm talking about the breaking in, the raping, the killing,
Gary, those might be in the minority.
When Muhammad says Central has...
a lot of the information is not public, you know. A lot of the break-ins in people that takes place in people's house and robbery is not reported in the public domain, you know.
Gary, Rajvi
is out there, you
know. Gary, Rajvi say, in Central the thief close from the line. Facts 100.
But I hear that from
when the moment says Central have a different kind of petty crime.
But I'm not telling you that area they call 500.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That area they call 500. A lot of people not from Central relocated out there.
When the moment say even if the clothes wet.
I hear the thief in the sneakers. They cut through somebody's roof.
Gary,
they get through the door, they cut the galvanized out of the roof.
Gary and Chumakak, back in the day, you go and hang up pokers outside now.
You can't what?
You hang up pokers now, you might just see the lacings leave. You might leave the lacing for you. You know? And I think we have to understand that at the end of the day, we want to reduce crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? The necessary things to deal with the social and psychological issues and engage the people in constructive thing. I always said, you know, even here in the US, I met with state police and NAACP and a few different organizations. And I said, would we rather spend the money on preventative things or spend the money on things to rehabilitate the situation? You know, it is more expensive. The prevention is better than the cure, and it is cheaper than the cure. It is more feasible to engage these kids in sports and different activities and educational activities than to have to rehabilitate them and to deal with the hassle of locking them up, chasing them down. You know, the mind, you know, they have a commercial here in the US, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I don't know if they still play that on 1010 Wins. They used to play that years ago, you know, when they were advertising for education back in the 80s.
Yeah, so, and the fathers need to mind the children too.
But that's number one. That's the number one issue. That's the number one problem right there.
Yep. You need to mind the children.
That's a misnomer as well, Diana. That's a misnomer. That fathers don't mind the children.
The majority of them fellas lock up.
The major, Gary, Google it right now. The majority of fathers, majority of fathers mind the children.
The majority of them fellas that lock up there and giving trouble in the country is because no father there to straighten them out.
But the majority of fathers mind the children.
They leave the grandmother and the mother, and most of the time the mother go on to work or something, or sometimes she leave the country. And she had to send barrel to mind the children, and grandmother stuck with the children. The children get out of hand. By the time the mother really get a hold of them, they don't go on the wrong way. That happened to a lot of our people. A lot of our people came to this country to do babysitting, to think that they're better in their family.
Slim, while we're on it, right? Because I remember Dr. David Muhammad said that, and I think he usually figured 90-something%. I can't say how many, right? 90-something% African inside that prison. How would that figure happen? Well, how would they end up in there? How would it end up to be 90-something%? Let me say even 60% African inside the prison. How would that happen, Anselm, and why?
Diana, there was some of them who in there are innocent. Some of them are
Okay,
innocent.
okay, some of them are innocent, yeah, but
Some of them are
proven.
innocent.
Okay,
Right?
some of them are innocent.
India. Some of them in India for petty crimes. Petty crimes.
Okay, petty crime. But why they involved in petty crime in the first place? That's what I understand. This is what I'm trying to understand.
Economic hardships.
Why? Well, okay, why? This is what economic hardship.
Wait a minute. All of we came up through economic hardship. All of we. Majority of the people grow up through economic hardship in
I
Trinidad.
don't understand,
Some society has solutions.
All right.
I don't understand,
My mother had to plant the yard in order for me to save money to advance myself. We was no big shot.
Every time I look, I see, and I just say what I gotta say. Who don't like it, hey? Every time I look, I seen a crime being committed, it's somebody that look like me. More 90% of the time.
But Diana, that's such an unfair statement. Let me tell you this, Diana. In this country, in America, right? 6 companies own 90% of the media companies. It's called an oligopoly. 6 companies.
I ain't talking about here. I talking about Trinidad. Every time I look in Trinidad, I seen a security thing. Somebody that look like me. They committing a crime. Why?
What's also important is that the media decides what they're going to put out and what they're not going to put out. The media has a big input on the way people look at things. In this country, 6 media companies, 6, own 90%.
I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about like in Trinidad and Tobago, the regular security. They just walk in the store and they decide they're going to rob the store.
It's no different. The media companies own, the people who own the media companies, they put out certain information that they want to put out. And that information could be as misleading as possible. Look at this next thing. In this country, you always hear people talking about black and black crime. All them black people always killing each other. They're always killing each other. Look up the statistics of black and black crime and white crime. They are almost similar. But you always hear about black and black crime.
And why is it you go in the prisons is all the most of the be inside there? Why?
Let me ask you a question too. Why is it that when people driving on the turnpike, right, we have racial profiling on the turnpikes across this whole country? Why is that?
Why is that? I don't know.
No, but why is that? Why was that? Racial profiling across the country. And there's only 13%.
You have to ask yourself the question that based on the reports of crime, what particular race of people is committing the particular crime. That's maybe why they're doing that.
And Ulrich, you're absolutely correct. It's because of inequality. Why you think there's 13 to 14% black in this country, right? But whenever we have the reported racial profiling and they're pulling over people on the highways and byways across this country, most of them was predominantly black. Why do you think that? So think about this. If I am 14% of this population and I'm getting pulled over 90% of the time and I have to go to jail, who will be in jail? Who are the most people going to be in jail? Let me give you guys the next example. In Maplewood, right? Maplewood and South Orange in Essex County, predominantly white. Going to the courts and see who's sitting down in the courts there. Go in the courts and see who's sitting down.
Any part of America.
Go and see who's sitting down. Only thing that happened just so is by happenstance or because all of them is criminals. Come on, man.
Profiling.
You gotta think better than that.
Yeah, 14%,
profiling. 14% of this population in America is black. 14%.
Anselm, listen to me. I know it's profiling, but what about when on the reverse, when they decide to walk into an establishment and rob the place?
That's not the point. That is not the point. If they walk in and rob, suffer the consequences, whatever it is. Suffer the consequences. But Diana, I could be driving on the highway to Diana, right? And I could be going the speed limit, and a state trooper could pull me over and say I'm going over the speed limit, what do you want me to do? What could I do? Because he see me driving a car in a car. Eh? Or Rick, you are right. It's because of inequality in treatment. We have a big case across this whole country with respect to inequality and racial profiling. I can tell you guys, I live in a community. We had asked, I could tell all you, they have to set up a community coalition on race. In the school my kids went to. Let me give you guys the next example. We're going to go for a quick break.
But what I'm saying in Trinidad, what do we have to set up in Trinidad? We dealing with Trinidad, but most of them look like each other.
When we come back, let's go for a quick station identification. When we come back, we're going to address that. And I'm going to tell you guys some of the solutions we use here in South Orange Maple. We'll be right back. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Stick and stay. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
We are back with you. It's in the village with the DAG Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Now, let me say this, right? We had to form a committee in South Orange Maple called the Community Coalition on Race. Because here's why. The community, let's say the community was 60%, 75% white and 25% black, right? When you go into these schools, they had levels. The levels start from level 5. Level 5 is the best level. Then level 4, Tommy, you know this. Guy, you should know this too. Level 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Levels 3, 2, and 1 is the worst levels you could have in that school. You could walk into the school and just look through the window of the door and you could tell which one is level 5, which one is level 4, which one is level 3, which one is level 2, and which one is level 1. Level 3, 2, and 1 was predominantly black. And it wasn't predominantly black because the people in those classes were unintelligent, but they would do what's called, they were tracked. It's called tracking. They track them and they track them into the lowest levels in the constituency. I personally, I joined the PTA because from Trinidad, I'm a little white. I joined the PTA, the only foreigner with an accent and person of color on the PTA. And I hear the parents saying around a table one time in a PTA meeting, and they're saying, well, I want this teacher for my kid because he's the best math teacher. I want this teacher for my daughter because she's the best English teacher. It's not because they are the best student, you know. They are the PTA and they're picking out the teachers who they want for their kids. And I say, well, wait, I say, wait, let's go. So I get involved too. I tell the principal, I want this teacher for my son. I want this teacher for my son. And being I'm on the PTA, I get all the teachers that I wanted. That should not be the way it is. Because what happens is that people of color are really on the PTA. And when you go, and I'm telling you from experience.
Why is that? Why is that?
Gary, because many of them are busy, right, trying to put food on the table for their kids so they can afford the education.
They can't spare the time, and they can't spare the time to be there.
And they can't spare the time. But me, let me tell you what I used to do. First day of school, I used to go up to the school and I sit down in all my son classes. I want the teacher to know, and I give them a business card. I say, Miss so-and-so, if there is any problem, don't wait until there's some difficulties to get in contact with me. If there's any difficulties at all, here's my card. Give me a call and I will be here immediately.
I did the same. I did the same.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about 3 months down the line. I want to hear about there and then.
But Gary, you know what they used to do? They used to leave me alone. He used to say, let me tell you. It's a special case. Let me leave that fella alone. But the rest of people who can't do what I can do, their kids end up in levels 3, 2, and 1.
Well, I didn't pick the teachers for my kids, but I'll tell you something. What I got done couldn't be done in 10 and 15 years for the kids at that elementary school,
Mhm.
and the physical evidence is there to see. I discovered some issues. Principal said over 10 years he trying to get this parking situation resolved.
Mhm.
I walked in the school with the mayor, the captain of police of traffic, chief of police, tongue engineering, sergeant of traffic, and principal almost fall down when I walked in that day with it. Everybody, we guess what? Problem solved.
But
So
Gary,
they
Gary, you
started
right.
treating me. Now they want me to fix the bus problem. Mr. Harvey, we have problem with the bus. Can you fix the bus problem? I was reaching out to the tongue engineer, and I couldn't get him, so I went and I sat and wait for him by the office. But,
Gary, you are so right. Gary, hear this. One time, I get a report from the high school that something, my son do something. So I went to meet the teacher. The teacher said, well, your son was in the back talking to our next student, and it looked like if he was cheating. And I said, what? She said, talking to a student is considered to be cheating. I said, well, can you show me the policy? She wanted me to show the policy. Well, I want to see the policy where talking to another student is cheating. So she couldn't show me the policy. So then she said she's going to recommend my son go from, listen to this, huh? Go from a level 4 class, which is the second highest level, to a level 3 class. I said, excuse me? I said, where's the policy? Show me where's the policy for that. Now, Gary, Diana, and Tommy, if there was another parent, they would have leave it alone because they didn't have time. But you see, me and Dotish, I was good friends with the principal of the school. I used to make friends with the superintendent of the area and the principal of the school just in case.
well, I stood in their face. I was right up in their
So I
face.
went to the
Picked up my
principal and I
kids.
tell the principal, I said, listen, I don't understand this. I cannot see the policy where if my son is talking to somebody that's considered to be cheating. She said, Ansem, don't worry about it. I will take care of it.
Well, I started picking up my kids because my eldest, we decided to let her take the bus, and they drop her 2 blocks away from the house. And she was very young, and I said, well, you know what, that is not going to work. I'm going to take my kids and pick them up. And I was there in the evening time. I dropped them off in the morning, and I built a relationship with the school community. So as I discovered issues, knowing me and how I work, we dealt with it, heads on. But coming back to Trinidad and Tobago,
The New York Community Coalition on Race. The need.
our community, well, we live with one race of people down there. Is there who better than who down there right now?
But
The same
Gary,
race of people. Is
but
there
Gary,
some
I hear
Indian better
you.
than
But
some Indian?
Gary,
Is there some African better than
but
some
Gary,
African?
we need to be having discussions on how we can live together in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think it's a major problem how we can live together. The
No,
problem
guys, it's a
is a
major
minor
problem.
group of people that is really causing the disarray in the whole country. And they say it takes one rotten apple to spoil the bag. So the situation is more social and family oriented. That has to be dealt at that level. The criminal thing is, the police has a role to play. The social structure and services
Stop
has
the
a role
guns
to
from
play.
coming into Trinidad and Tobago, Gary.
What's that?
Stop the guns from coming into Trinidad and Tobago. We see we had a
Let them.
barrel of guns the other day. But listen to this.
Listen to me. They
Yeah.
back in the day in the US, yeah, they had millions of guns. The guns stay on the wall unless there was an emergency or some animal. So you could have much guns in front of you. If you're not disciplined enough to deal with the situation, you have the wrong thoughts in your mind. Look, we got policemen killing their wife and their family and shooting themselves and committing crime. So the guns is not the issue. The issue is you have to deal with the people's minds.
Yeah,
You
well,
have to deal with the people's minds. You could
but
have
Gary,
100 guns on the wall.
they always say guns don't kill people, it's people kill people.
Right. So, I mean, you could kill somebody with a hammer. You could kill them with a cutlass, a big stone. So it is. I have watched the people interaction with each other, and a simple thing like, a simple misunderstanding could cause a big brawl. you know, and the whole neighborhood fighting. So I mean, there's a lot of psychological, spiritual issues. You know, there has to be education. You know, the social structure is lacking. The community structure is lacking. There's amounts of big talk from the politician and grand charge, and at the end of the day, no results. No, we see the situation with the prison. We get some, you know, the minister is addressing it. We get some talk, you know, but in this day and age, we should have had our act together because we are highly educated people. We are very highly educated people, okay? But we seem to be lacking common sense. And, you know, some people are just very comfortable with the way they are, things are. And you know, it's only when somebody dead, then you're looking to fix something. And I want to address the issues before somebody dead. I have been in security business. We practice risk management, prevention, deterrence, and these are the things that we should be working on. In trying to you know, to say, you know, you come in when somebody done dead to what, to get justice. I don't want justice. I want prevention. Because, you know, like I always say to everybody, justice or resurrect the dead. Them divers dead there. Justice can't, no matter how much justice you get, you can't bring them back. No much money they come and pass and give you on the side, or you win in court, it ain't going to resolve the emotional damages that caused to that family. So we have to work harder on increasing our response capabilities. We have to work harder on putting the resources in place. We have to become more serious minded and more conscious in that manner of thinking, to react quickly, to save lives, put the necessary resources and buttons in place that we can get an effective response. We lack in that. And you go see government say, you ask the politician to fix something. Oh my, how much $1 million we spend? The government spend money and spend money and spend money and get what result? Get what result?
Point
You
taken.
know?
So,
We don't see the results.
Ulrich, Rajvi, Albert, Rene, and Eugene, put closing comments in the chat. Ulrich, Rajvi, Albert, Rene, and Eugene, put closing comments in the chat. Yeah, you see, we have to start. And I tell you, the community coalition and race in as a matter of fact, they having an event. Oh, they having an event tonight, man. Oh, the event finished. They having an event tonight, and they had made a significant impact on the way things were done in South Orange and Maple. They had a significant impact. We used to be sitting around the table and we used to be dealing with the issues, man, addressing the issues head on. You know?
Well, the police has to be part of the community. If
Oh,
the
they was part of that too. They were part of that.
The police, it can't be all, when you're attacking a problem in a community, it can't be all beat them up, shoot them up kind of approach.
No, they were part of it. You correct.
There has to
They
be a mixture of things. I mean, the police need to be hard on those who will intend to you know, to chastise the police and be as boldfaced as they were challenging Gary Griffith, that they go kill him and they go do this and they go do that and they run him out of town, and you know, all these kind of things. I mean, there is, like I said, you know, sometimes you have to pull out the belt, but there's other times you have to deal with other issues at the same time. So not just cracking the belt alone is the only thing. You have to deal with things and put things in place and treat situation that you don't need the belt. You know, that's the way I see it. You know, the social structure is lacking, and all we get is big talk and money spent, and they can't get accountability. You can't ask this government for accountability for the money, and you're getting both when you ask the question, and the people are really standing up because they're not united enough to stand up. Because if they're united, like our Russian was saying the other night, he asked them to start to write letters. They couldn't see the value of it. You know, he's the MP that he walk. You know, so you have to do things together. You have to understand we have to operate in one.
So Rajvi says, Wall Street, I worked in Florida years ago in a drive-through store in the ghetto area. A lot of people carry guns in their lap areas in cars. 100 facts. I've seen it with my own eyes. Rene Muhammad says, crime exists in all forms, in all places, some more than others. Action always brings a reaction. Rene says, does ethnic origin really have something to do with crime rate or jail population? Nadia, good night. Nadia says good night. So far, guys, again, Ulrich, Rajvi, Albert, Renee, and Eugene put closing comments in the chat. You know, so I think what we have to do, man, we have to have discussions with these things and come to some sort of consensus how we as a people, forget about party, but how we as a people can make the country better. Politics is involved in everything. You're not going to get away from politics. Politics is involved in everything. All right? But sometimes when we go inside, when we open that door and we go inside, we got to leave our political affiliation in the front door. And when we come back out, we finish with the meeting, you can pick up your political affiliation and keep going. But we got to do something for the betterment of the country. And to me, it can start with people like here and people like how we have people who are in Trinidad and people who are outside of America, because we can learn from each other. And that's what that's just my take on it.
Well,
So
it's absolutely full agreement there, 100%. This is a platform we offer and an opportunity to bring. You were talking about how they don't respect us in Trinidad, but the thing about it is, this is the function that Gopio played in bringing non-resident Indians and Indians in India together to work together. And the non-resident Indians turned out to be the most effective and wealthy and resources one that helped India to expand the way it is today. So Trinidad, even with Israel, one time I was doing security for a Jewish church, and on that New Year's they were collecting money for the bond to buy Israeli bonds and different things like that in the church. So but we lack the understanding with a lot of those in Trinidad. All they're living out there, mind all their business. They don't see the value for we working together across the globe and how beneficial it would be for us to come together, regardless of what part of the globe we are, come on one platform to address the issues and improve the level of service delivery in our country. Nothing much more I would like to be able to go to Trinidad, be comfortable to walk my street, have to go for a medical attention, you can get effective treatment, you go to do some business in the government office, things are
correct.
moving smoothly and effective, and not all this drama and unnecessary headache and attitude that you get, the service, these are the things that I think we could all make an impact for those of us outside the country. Dr. Raleigh was here himself. He said that we could make a greater impact in Trinidad and Tobago, those of us out here. He didn't live up to his end of the bargain.
And then he leave us to the dogs.
Yeah. He didn't live us. I mean,
He leave us
he said it in
again.
your house. In your house, right?
Yeah.
He didn't live up to his end of the bargain. We were ready and able and more than willing, so it doesn't stop with him. I'm going to tell him the buck don't stop with him, that ain't going to stop with we.
Hey, Albert, before you go, put closing comments in the chat, if you can.
Yeah, we are the majority out here.
Didn't do that already? Let me see if I see. I thought he put something in there.
You saw he put something?
I thought I saw that. Let me see something.
Oh yeah. I saw it. Yeah.
So I'm trying to drag the members of the diaspora outside the country to start dictating the terms. And we can only do this united. We strengthen unity.
So folks, Martin Luther King says, your life ends the day you remain silent about things that matter. He also stated, you don't have to see all flights in the staircase, you only have to see the first flight. From where I said this is it, the clock on the wall, so that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. Go ahead, Tommy.
This is Ralph Ellison. He says, life is to be lived, not controlled. And humanity is won by continuing to play in the face of certain defeat. Pleasant night to each and every one.
Thank you. Gary?
I think I said enough for one night, so I'm just going to say good night, family. It was nice to be able to join you again. Thanking everyone who took the time to join us and listen to what we had to say. I hope that you can come on board with us and we could join together and bring our TNT family together, regardless of what part of the globe you're located. This is a platform that we can all work together to make an effective change in our country. So with that, I would say good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Ulrich Marie.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that one, Traveling Man by Rio. I'm gonna look for that one. Rene Muhammad says, "We are all one people under the same sun. Peace and love to everyone." Also said, "Pray and accept reality." Albert Montano said, "Tonight's show was a good one, and the Alderman did give us an insight of what happened with the 4 divers. Something was still missing tonight, but still good." Ulrich Murray says,
"It only takes one footstep to start the walk for change, or work for change, rather."
Correct is right. There you go. Good night to you, Nadia, and good night to all of you. And thank you for joining us. And I'm gonna go to that song by let me get that one there. What is it? Traveling Man by Rio, Trinidad Rio. Let me see if I get that one. Yeah, Traveling Man, Trinidad Rio.
Albert also said this before he leaves. He said, "Let us avoid individual cross talk." Did you read Rajvi's good night?
No, you read it. You can read it.
Good night, everyone, and be safe. While there's a lot of suffering in the world, we must be thankful we are in a better place. Remember, we are all brothers and sisters, and we will all make it together. Thank you, Raj V.
Traveling Man. Thank you very much, Raj. Here, Trinidad Rio, Traveling Man. Okay, here we go. I like Trinidad Rio too.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going on with that one. Then I got it. Will play just so. All right, folks. Good night, folks. We're gonna go to Traveling Man by Rio.
Good night, Ansel.
Yeah, good night.
Once they had a competition for the most travel Calypsonian. Everyone was shocked to see the finalist was far on me. Sparrow went Nigeria, then he went to Spain. He went to Ethiopia, then he went back again. He went to Cincinnati, then he went to Ohio. But I was the favorite, the crowd shout out. I went to San Fernando Palace, go Connery, Colosio, then Monterey, Puerto Rio, Carolina, Gasper, Rio, El Colo, Monte, the Togo, and Mayara brothers. I've been everywhere. I wasn't entering the show, but something say go Rio go. I know I only wasting time, but I only follow in my mind. But look, my passport don't even got a visa in it, but something telling me Rio you could win it. Them foreign judges so incompetent. Say where you went, man. Say where you went. I went to Calcuchima, Point Commander, Mazalena, Canapena, Pagariga, Matura, and Nariva, and Palataria, Siparia, Palandari, Man, Palmaria. I've been everywhere. travel by plane. I travel almost everything you find. The two exceptions that I could explain, and that is minus boat and aeroplane. I travel on like Chimborazo, Cotopaxi, double bus, omnibus, mini bus, and maxi taxi, trolley on more tricycle, donkey cat and motorcycle. I've been everywhere. Around the mountains, around the hills, from the dry river to Williamsville. Roam every hotel under the sun, from the savannah to 101. Well, me a bragging, me a boasting, me a getting my head swell. There's two places I didn't go, that is heaven and hell. I travel till I'm tired, as you people here could see, so I like